quiet, Kennard. What's that? You know what? Yeah, it might be nice to know when it's this hot. Yeah, hot man, crap. Thank you. things, the mountains, the Colorado River, a perfect, immaculately prepped race course. It is an oasis of speed here in Blythe, California. It's round number 2 of the Rocky Mountain ATV MC NGPC series presented by FMF, hosted by the Prospectors. My name is Jack Rapella alongside Mark Tilley, and get ready, guys. Pop your popcorn, kick your feet up. We have got to show everything we learned about this series in the very hard-packed round 1 of Delano. Throw it out the window because welcome to the sandy desert, Mark.
Yeah, this has nothing to do with the same. This is in no way, shape, or form is there anything that's at Delano at this round. Like, this is fine beach sand. It's got moisture in it. They've had races here, so it's tealing up, and it's going to test these guys' physical abilities and how good a shape they're in. I've been out there a couple times this weekend, and, man, it's going to get rough.
Absolutely. We have got so much to talk about. Of course, the big question, can anybody stop the 5-time defending champion Dante Oliveira as he looks to continue his dominance?
Yeah, and that's going to be really hard. He's got a good program. He stepped it up last weekend, or last round, and did really good, and he's ready to go.
As we take a look at the Yamaha finish line, so much to talk about here today. A lot of these racers talking about how rough and tumble this course is. One piece of advice they gave me is don't chop the throttle. And, Mark, I think your hand even shows. I'm looking at a blister. You've been out there. It's been kind of tough.
Yeah, it's definitely a tough track. If you chop the throttle, your front end is dropping and it's starting to move around. Don't touch the brakes because you're coming down really fast. It's basically keep as much momentum as you possibly can and go from there. It's going to, like I said, it's going to get really rough.
Yes, it will, guys. Round number 2, we are moments away from call-ups in our Open Pro category, our Pro 2 category, and also our women's category as we continue on. Just beautiful, beautiful weather. It's a little hotter here than we expected, but hey, it's not the 115 degrees of the summer. Let's take a ride around this track. Mark Tilley, give me a little bit of insight here of what we're looking at.
Well, this is going to go around the track a lot faster than I ever did because this looks like it's Mateo Oliveira out there. Now, he's in the bottom section of the track right now, I believe, and it's high speed, definitely high speed, but going back and forth, really kind of hitting the berms and using those outside lines to carry as much momentum as possible. He's on a big 450, but still, this track rewards momentum, and this is actually a high-speed section that is right towards the end of the lap. He'll come around and hit these sections, and then I believe somewhere around in here there will be a pro section, but not real sure exactly where he's at on the film footage. But this is like you were saying, you try to stay off the brakes, you try to stay off of the on the throttle a little bit to make sure that it has some momentum going through stuff, and if you chop that throttle, you're wishing you hadn't. But this looks like the high-speed section right before he comes through into the scoring chute. He'll make a wide left-hand sweeping turn right before you come into the scoring chute, and then kind of go back up, go through the scoring chute right here, and then go back on the motocross section. They put those white things, we saw them first last time, and they make it hard to get through the scoring chute. You got to slow way down, those white poles that are right there, and it makes it to where the scorekeepers can actually do the backup scoring and make sure that all the results are correct.
Can't wait to see what unfolds here. Roughly 5 miles, roughly an 8-minute or so lap time. A little bit of something for everybody. Like Mark just said, there is a pro section. There's a section where they can really catch a lot of air and whip it out. I had an opportunity to watch practice yesterday, and it's interesting to see the different strategies. Some of those guys look like they're racing Supercross out there. Some of them, you can tell maybe the more hardcore off-road guys are just trying to get over those jumps as efficiently as possible. And it's going to be interesting as we've got the last group of riders coming off, and we get set for our main event, the Pro Show. Another story you might be able to add a little insight on here, Mark, is a lot of people talking about tire selection. Some of the top teams, as I walked around, went with the Scoop sand tire. Some of them didn't. I asked the teams that didn't, and why not, and they said they feel like the track might be a little bit more hard-packed today after a few days of running on it. You were just out there. What do you think?
Yeah, that would be an interesting selection. There is some harder packed places, but I would say that most of the track is sand, and it's kind of hard to bet against the scoop unless the tire manufacturer that you ride for doesn't have a scoop. Yeah, then maybe, but everybody on Dunlops, the new MX-14 is pretty amazing, and I rode on that thing all weekend, and there isn't a better tire that I would have selected from Dunlop to race that. Like an MX-34, yeah, I'm not sure it would have had the cupping, but everybody makes a scoop now, so I know that there's some people out there on Kindas and Pirellis and, some Maxxis tires. Maxxis makes a really good scoop. I've been able to test that one, but, it's hard to go against a scoop tire for this. I always joke and say that this type of sand and this layout is everything you want Havasu to be, and it's not. Havasu is a lot rockier than this, a lot tighter than this. This kind of has a pretty good kind of round display of different terrain, but it's that really fine sand, kind of beach sand, and not very many rocks. If you come across a rock, it's kind of doesn't happen very often, but it's kind of hard, like I said, to bet against that scoop because they're all really good.
Yes, they are, and it's interesting. There was a race here last weekend, so a lot of individuals have got some seat time, and typically NGPC stops here in October. We were here in Halloween weekend, and here we are again. Back again just for round number 2. A little bit of a schedule change, but one that I think a lot of these riders are welcoming because it's a little bit cooler.
Yeah, no, it's definitely cooler. Actually kind of cold in the morning, but it's one of those things, it keeps the moisture in the track. The facility has done a great job keeping moisture in the track, and it's like I said, it's going to get rough because when I was out there this morning, it was already rough. And it's gonna get way more by the time these pros hit the track. We shout out to Carson Tryon and Jacob Tilley, doing really good in their new classes that just pulled off the track. So that's the other thing that's great about this series is there's racing for everybody. I got to race. I'm an old guy. My kids got to race. I have younger kids that got to race on 65. The other one got to race on a 125, coming back from a broken collarbone. So, good times for the whole family.
Yes, indeed. And that's why we tell you, if this looks like fun, check out that NGPC website, dial up the schedule, and come out and join us. Classes for everybody. You will absolutely have a blast. Once again, guys, it is round number 2 of the Rocky Mountain ATV MC NGPC series presented by FMF, hosted by the Prospectors MC. This live stream presented to you by Honda. We've got our call-ups moments away, brought to you by AHM Factory Services. We also want to thank our premier live stream sponsor, Precision Concepts, and our great drone coverage, courtesy of Skaggs Racing and Seat Concepts. As I cannot wait. Big question. Storylines aplenty. We also got to talk about the battle there in Pro 2. Colton Eck, the cowboy, he's got the white plate coming in. Juan Delano, the unfortunate news for him, suffered a very nasty high-speed crash. But we know Colton is super, super tough. He is here. He's going to tough it out this weekend.
Yeah, Jack, it's a bummer that Colton went down. I think he went down at the AMA National Hare and Hound last weekend. Everybody's telling me about his eye. I guess his eye is kind of bloodshot red, but it's nice to see him back here on a bike, and he's tough. He's definitely going to tough it out. So I can't wait to see that battle and him and Mason. I know that it sounds like Pit Boss Bob is back and going to be in the pits for Pritchard this weekend again. So shout out to those guys. And then I got to give Harlem Nelson a big apology. I've been pronouncing his name wrong, and I shouldn't be. I was channeling Moto KK with that and calling him Nielsen. And so sorry about that, Harlem, and I'll try not to let it happen again until the next time it happens. And go out there and do good today.
Yes, indeed. It looks like we're getting closer and closer to meeting our field. Closer and closer to call-ups. Closer to call-ups as we're getting close, guys. Blythe, California, warming up.
What's your, I know you do a little bit of research every time. What's your research this time for Blythe, California. I know that it's home of the very famous and the young man that just won his first overall in the 30A class yesterday, Nick I'm drawing a blank on his last name, Nick Vase, on his Cowie. Local legend from Blythe, California, winning the 30A class yesterday, the Vet A class yesterday. So congratulations to Nick for that big win.
Well, my research is it's hot here. One of the favorite things to do is either go down to the river or break out the dirt bike, break out the ATV, break out the side-by-side, and go ride the desert. Ladies and gentlemen, we are set for your call-ups, brought to you by the fine folks from AHM Factory Services. Let us begin with our pro women. She's in the zone. She's ready to go. Ladies and gentlemen, say hello to your defending champion out of Riverside, California on a Honda CRF 250 RX. Here is Michaela Moto KK Nielsen. And we now turn our attention to number 2. Here today, she rides a Gas EX250 for Troy Lee Gas out of Redwood City, California. Let's hear it for the 454 of Ava Silvestri. HM Factory Service call-ups continue as we meet another very tough female. We welcome her here this weekend. Rider 813, part of the Blue Crew on a Yamaha. Let's hear it for Ty Wolfslayer. All right, we now switch gears into our Pro 2 category. It is AHM Factory Services call-ups. Guys, we talked about him moments ago. He is your point leader. He is toughing out a nasty injury. Let's hear it for the 2-time top 3 NGPC Pro 2 overall, a Baja 500 winner out of Hatch Racing, Kawasaki. How about it for the Cowboy, Colton Eck? And in hot pursuit of the Cowboy, he comes all the way from Melbourne, Australia. Your defending champion on a KTM 250 XCF out of FMF RPM KTM Racing. Here is Mason Simmons. This man comes from Temecula, California. He's been busy competing in Supercross, one of the most talented racers in the world on the Husqvarna FC250 out of Three Bros. Hatch Husqvarna. Let's hear it for Kai Aiello. Also on a Husqvarna FC250 out of Gainslinger Human Performance. Ladies and gentlemen, from Murrieta, California, here's Cole Zeller. This man comes all the way from Australia as well. He is your 2024 National Hare and Hound Pro 250 champion. Ladies and gentlemen, let's hear it for Sam Pretchar. Starting from the number 6 spot today, rider of the number 41 KTM. Let's hear it for Noah Gordon. Coming from the legendary Off-Road Davis family, he is rider number 508, making a big step up this year on a gas. Let's hear it for Dustin Davis. rider of the 736 Honda. Very, very tough racer, up and coming, so fast, so speedy. Here is Jace Eldred. On a 114 KTM, a very tough racer who has told us to never, ever count him out. Ladies and gentlemen, the 114 of Tristan Alvarez. And rounding out the field today in the Pro 250 category, this man rides a KTM number 251. Here is Jackson Glathar. That is your Pro Women and Pro 2 field, courtesy of AHM Factory Services. It is time to meet the Open Pros. Are you guys ready to meet your Open Pros here today? We are just moments away from starting this race. But now, ladies and gentlemen, let's turn our attention to a young man out of Hollister, California, one of the hottest dirt bike riders in the world. He is your five-time champion out of Factory Red Bull KTM. Let's hear it for Dante Oliveira. And in hot pursuit of Dante, this man rides a liquid moly factory beta machine. Very, very successful, very fast on his beta 480RR out of Lincoln, California. Here is Dare DeMartell. Starting from the number 3 spot today, also on a factory Red Bull KTM out of Hollister, California, coming off a great performance in Delano. Let's hear it for young Mateo Oliveira. This man's been flying here this weekend, 2019 NGPC Pro 2 champion. He comes out of Monster Energy SLR Honda from Utah. Let's hear it for Honda's Tyler Lynn. All the way from Italy, on a Bones Bacon, Mitch Payton prepared Pro Circuit Kawasaki. Let's hear it for the talented Giacomo Redondi. Starting in the number 6 spot today, arguably one of the fastest racers in the world. He comes from Corona, California. He's on a Monster Energy SLR Honda. Let's hear it for the 951 of Ryan Surratt. He's on the 192 Kawasaki out of Oak Hills, California. Very tough Team Green rider. Here is Jake Alvarez. Rider of the 226 Yamaha. Keep an eye on this man and help us welcome the one, the only, Damon Woolslayer. And rounding out the field today in Blythe as we get set to go, he's on an orange KTM. Let's hear it for number 25, Timothy Barnum. This field is impressive. This field is deep. This field is talented. Mark, it's time to go. Are we in store for any surprises?
You know what? Everybody's got something that they want to give to the champ, and it's going to be nice to see what they can do. After watching all those call-ups, you're right. This field is deep, not just in the pro class. This field is deep. All of those people that were sitting on the line that you saw before are the A classes and some of the vet classes and all kinds of people out there and on the track. We just basically go to the Pro and Pro 2 and then Pro Women. And this round we're going to start highlighting the 4-stroke 98cc Open A class, because that's kind of the feeder class to the Pro 2 class. And there is some fast kids that we haven't talked about yet, but they're running lap times that are sometimes at points in the race are faster than the Pro 2 class. And, you know, Dustin Davis is a recent graduate from that class into the Pro 2 class, so it's going to be fun to watch.
Yes, indeed. It will be fun to watch as we're just moments away from our national anthem. From a beautiful afternoon in Blythe, California, let's go racing as we take a look at some of the aforementioned superstars ready to go, ready to rumble down there on the line. Where, again, the big question is, can anybody stop Dante Oliveira? We see him getting a little massage right now from his head mechanic, his head crew chief, Bobby Dawson, rubbing out the arms. And bad news for the rest of the field here. Dante's healthy, and they've been doing some testing up in Hollister, California, and they feel like they've got the suspension even more dialed than usual.
Well, and this track, unlike Delano, is going to definitely separate the riders. There's a lot more line selection here. There's a lot more stuff that has to go into the riders. Delano was kind of a fast-paced, smooth track, and it kind of didn't separate riders as much.
At this course, let's take a look at our starting grids. This is NG was able to get the whole shot. Somebody that we didn't see in rider introductions either, Justin Heft. Welcome back to him, coming off of reconstructive knee surgery. When healthy, he's also one of the fastest guys out here.
Yeah, you can never count Justin out. He's actually a stunt man and doing some of that Universal Studios stunt stuff. But yeah, Justin, his dad's out here too. I saw him riding around, and you cannot count him out, because just when you think he's got nothing, he pops up and has a good run. So, like I said, that's a pretty healthy field right there, and that's only some of them. So,
as we take a look now at the Pro 2 category, Cody Simpson figures to be tough, Dustin Davis, but all eyes are on the 526. The Cowboy Colton Eck really felt bad for him, too. If you remember, he suffered one of the nastiest Supercross wrecks we've ever seen way back in 17. Kind of had a flashback to that when he was knocked out a couple weeks ago, high-speed off-road racing, but he said, man, you just got to keep your head down and you got to keep digging. He knows he will face some stiff competition, though, from Mason Simmons and others in this gung-ho field.
Yeah, I got to hand it to the guys at SLR. Mark Samuels over at SLR. He was at Supercross last night with a couple of riders that made the main event, and Billy Levinovich is a new rider for the second time in his career. 41 years old, made the 250 main last night on an SLR Honda. Mark's got women riding, women pro. He's got amateurs. He's got a great program over there, and then has two riders in the premier class. He's doing a great job with his team, and gotta hand it to the former racer.
Yes, indeed. Always exciting to see as we take a look at two-stroke A and the entire starting grid here for round number 2 of the NGPC series from Blythe, California. So glad you guys are watching with us live on YouTube. Help us out. Comment where you're watching from. Give it a share. Let's keep this going. If you're new to NGPC, when we drop that green flag, it'll be 90 minutes, a minimum of 90 minutes for some of the most finely conditioned athletes in the world. Cannot wait. Again, my name is Jack Corpella from the Cycle Drag YouTube channel, Mark Tilley from the Dirt Bike Magazine YouTube channel, and a Dirt Bike Magazine test rider. We all want to be Mark Tilley. What a fun job he has. And he also races out here on a weekly basis, so it's great to have his knowledge, his insight. Motorcycles roaring to life. Mark, it will be another dead engine start, though. They'll have to shut them down. Interesting to me that they fire these 4 strokes, kind of like we used to fire the 2 strokes to clear them out. Are they just making sure everything's okay? You got to believe the bikes are warmed up at this point.
Yeah, I mean, it's. I think it's just a creature of habit. It kind of gets them rolling, gets them going. Some of these bikes with the gas that they're running or the ECU mapping that they're running might need to be warmed up a little bit, but I think it's more of nerves to get them going. But you know, it's a cool sound. It's definitely, and then when they roar to life, it's a fun thing to watch. But yeah, it's going to see the start is going to be really important here because it kind of drops down and off camber to the right, so getting that jump off the gate, and dead engine starts are their own animal when it comes to nailing one and making sure that you get out front.
And if you're new to the series, again, what we're talking about when we say dead engine start, there's no gate out there, so all riders will be instructed to shut them off. They will then wait for the flag to wave, the light to turn green, and they will have to start the motorcycle and, just like a drag racer would do, pop a hole shot as quick as they possibly can to get to turn number 1. This start is going to be uber important because Dare DiMartile out there on a factory beta and also Giacomo Redondi on a Kawasaki know the key to beating Dante Oliveira all starts with the start. They know they have to get out in front. Giacomo said he's been testing, they've been working on the bike, and they've been practicing starts with Team Pro Circuit. Here we go, ladies and gentlemen. You can hear the natural sound. There's the blue flag, 10 seconds or less. Here we go. And we're off, racing into turn number 1. Giacomo spins a little bit. Looks like one of the KTMs is at Dante, is at Matteo. Here comes Dare DiMartile. We got another 1-2-3 battle. Looks just like what we saw in Delano. Can't see from this vantage point. The factory Red Bull KTM's definitely out in front. Who's got it around the first corner? There's the big number 1. It is the five-time defending champion Dante Oliveira. Bad news for the rest of the field as we get ready to send these Pro 2 competitors off. Keep an eye on Colton Eck, the 526. Keep an eye on the big number 1. They're right beside each other. Mason Simmons of Australia out in front. Looks like that KTM has got the whole shot as well. So as for now, wait a minute. Wait, yes, it is the orange KTM. Thought somebody got around him. Colton up there as well. Both defending champions. Both KTM riders flexing their muscles here in the early going, getting the whole shot as we go through the section with a whole lot of jumps. Next off the gate, here comes our pro women. Ava Silvestri trying to figure out how to get the start on Michaela. We'll see if she can do it. Michaela, all the way to the right of your screen on your smart device or your computer or your television. She's the defending champion on SLR Honda. Look at Ava! Ava! Did she get the whole shot on a gas? Here comes Michaela. Give it to Ava Silvestri. Wait a minute. Oh. Is that technically a whole shot for Michaela? I think Ava, we got to give her the whole shot. I don't know where the line is, but Michaela quickly asserts her dominance. So Mark, just like that, all 3 defending champions out in front.
Yeah, no, it's hard to bet against those champs. And so this, I believe, is going to be this might be the 4-stroke A class that we were referring to. And I know in that 4-stroke A class, guys to look out for is Lane Lorenzo, Brennan Watson, Kodiak Lehman, and they'll all be traced by a big group. It's great to see this many riders out there.
Some 2-strokes on the grid here. That's why you see the kickstart there at last minute. Gotta love it. So much diversity. All different types of motorcycles, all different displacement, 4 strokes, 2 strokes. It's about to get busy out there. And this being one of the shorter courses on tour, we will get into lappers rather quickly with that staggered start.
Well, it's kind of amazing that it is a shorter course, but man, look at just these drone shots. Shows you exactly how much coverage they do. This is one of the they give them a lot of leeway. You see those guys going a bunch of different ways. They're not off course. That's a pro section that they basically throw ribbons on each side and say, go for it. And they can get there anyway. Whoa! Now that's some off-road stuff going on right there. It's pretty amazing. If you're not watching the live feed, get it on your phone or your mobile device, and you get to see all kinds of different stuff. So that was the pros, the open pros coming through the pro section, and it looks like it's still the KTM's out front. I think Dante's still out front, Matteo close in tow, and then I think that was Tyler Lynn on that SLR Honda.
Tyler Lynn, one to watch. As I said yesterday, they run a final moto. Some pros treat it as practice. Some pros will actually compete in it. Tyler Lynn was able to grab the whole shot and lead Dante Oliveira for a little while yesterday, so we'll see if that trend continues. As we continue to blast around this track, keep an eye on the big number one. Dante Oliveira out in front. We'll have more when we return. Stay with us. Round number 2 of the NGPC series is just getting started.
I got him, covered.
Thanks, fellas.
Business in the front, party in the back. The all-new Kawasaki Ridge.
All right, we are back as we join this great battle in progress. Guess what? The two brothers, Matteo Oliveira, Dante Oliveira, had an opportunity to spend some time with them yesterday. They are so loose over there, too. Absolutely love it. What a great bond between these two. They like to poke fun of each other, but when it comes to training, when it comes to racing, they are all business. And the serious story here as we continue on with the Rocky Mountain ATV MC NGPC series hosted by Prospectors MC from Blythe, California, is when will Matteo step up and beat his brother? I think he's got an opportunity to do so. Remember, he's 2 years younger, and Dante's pushing him hard. Dante tells him, hey, stay on my fender.
Well, and like Dante said in the interview right before round 1, it was definitely one of those things to where he was saying, hey, he's not that far off. And when we're practicing and we're doing stuff, he's not that far off. It's just a little bit of confidence that he needs to get to make it to where they're coming through the pits now. This is a live pro pit only. This is the only time that this is being used. If they needed to stop, they can stop, and they can adjust their bikes, but this is the only place on the track that they can do that. So
I believe, if memory serves me correct, in Delano, right around about the 50-minute mark, around the hour mark, we started seeing pit stops. Wonder, because this is such a sandier track and that tends to burn more fuel, do you think we could see pit stops earlier today?
You know what? You might actually see them a little bit earlier. And or you might see them at the same time. They just don't drop as much or drop more gas into the system or whatever. So it's going to be interesting because, like you said, the sand, if they're running a scoop tire, there's a lot more load on the engine. So, there's a lot of things that could happen. Those chains stretch out when they're brand new chains. They'll stretch out a little bit more because there is so much traction here. So, I think these guys right now playing a little bit of cat and mouse. Matteo might be, seeing how spunky Big Brother is looking today, and Dante might be feeling him out as well. But man, it's amazing. It's a testament to their training program. These guys are on it.
Yes, they are. And so far, this looks like a typical 5-time Dante Oliveira clinic. Get the whole shot and pull away from everybody, including his brother. How do you stop this focused and talented young man? And as I said, the bad news for the rest of the field is last year there seemed to be just a little chink in the armor when Dante was racing hurt for a few months. He sustained a bad injury when he entered the AMA Outdoor Motocross Series and collided with Malcolm Stewart, I believe, during a moto, and that set him back a little bit. He was able to tough it out, still win the championship. But right now, Dante is as healthy as can be, and that is just disastrous news for the rest of the field.
Exactly. Well, and we're looking at the SLR Honda of Tyler Lynn, and where he's at right now, he's coming down from the moto section and starts going into the off-road section. This is the first time that they drop down into the flat section down below. They kind of do some whoops right in here and some up and downs, and then Tyler will make a left after this section, and that section was almost flat when we started this weekend, but he'll make a left right here and kind of come back up and work his way back up to the top section, and then kind of weave his way through, as you can see that, but work up to the top section, and then where the normal course went, where we rode, it went down to the left of your screen right there, but now they go into the pro section, and like I said, all they do is, two really different lines right there from the brothers, but all they do is put ribbons on each side and say, hey, go for it. So this is two different lane selections, kind of crisscrossing, showing how different their lines are and which one thinks they're faster, and they're about the same speed coming. Matteo might have even made up a little bit of time.
I love it. So cool, and those are the curveballs they'll throw you in this series. They do that sometimes over in the GNCC, but mainly that's covered with trees and jagger bushes and things where you can't see 10 feet in front of you. Here it looks like one of the old school Krusty or Seth Enslow videos, just trying to find a way through there. It takes a whole lot of courage too to blitz a section that nobody has hit before.
Well, and they didn't let them ride that at all. Like, they got to walk it, but they don't get to ride it at all. First lap, could you imagine that, the intensity that's going on the first lap, and you're like, I'm just gonna huck it off of this 15-foot cliff and see what happens. And gotta hand it to these guys. They're crazy talented.
And look at how bad the braking bumps are getting out there. Look at that suspension doing its work as we take a look at the Seat Concepts drone coverage on this live stream presented to you by Honda. We thank all of our great sponsors for making this possible. Again, guys, support those who support your sport. Thank you guys for bringing this coverage to so many. We do appreciate it. The Prospectors MC, another group that we got to shout out that we appreciate. They have really prepped this track, and they've been out there with equipment all weekend. But, Mark, there's only so much you can do. Look at those braking bumps. You've been out there. What's that like, hitting those things? Looks like they're running a jackhammer.
Oh, yeah. It's and this is actually down. It gets really sandy right in here where Dare's at on his factory beta. But then you make a left-hand turn, and then right there's a booter, right? It's kind of like Supercross, and it just jumps out into the flat. But the guys at Shorty's are great with knowing what their track takes. But, yeah, it's rough. It's definitely rough. But they got lots of moisture in it, so there's not a lot of dust, which is pretty impressive. And they got some high-speed sections. They got some slower sections. So this has it all. They just it's definitely going to test the riders because there's been over 2,000 riders on this track all weekend long. They prep it in between Saturday and Sunday, but man, when you have that many riders on the track, it's going to get rough. And this is the last race of the day for the two-wheeled guys. You throw in some quads after this, but yeah, look at that. He's dancing around everywhere. So it's this track is definitely going to get rough, and this is just the beginning. This is the second lap.
Good Lord. Tremendous footage. right there. Tremendous ISOs on Dare DeMartil on the 200 factory beta. As we wait for him to turn the corner, I believe is this Giacomo Redondi. Now, you have really pointed something out with the bike dancing around. The one thing I'd like to do, we may have to do this next time, is I don't know if you know any police officers or baseball players that we could borrow a radar gun off of, but I'd love to put a gun on some of these guys because got to be, 60, 70 miles an hour plus in some of these sections.
Yeah, I know that on the KX450 that I was riding, Precision Concepts has it working really good, and Pro Circuit has it going pretty fast, and I know that I'm topped out. I don't run any bigger gears or anything like that. I run just the standard 1350 because I don't want to go any faster than that.
I don't blame you.
So I'm topped out going about as fast as I want to go for sure, but about as fast as that bike will go. And it's definitely, you get to that point and it's a little scary.
What's a 450 top out at? We're talking probably close to 100 miles an hour, right?
I don't know if stock gearing wise it would top out going that fast. But I would say about 80, 85.
80, 85. And that's a lot different than going 80, 85 out on the highway. I can tell you that.
Oh, yeah, because you got rocks and roots and you got, down trees from that have fallen down, and then you got the braking bumps and the acceleration bumps. All of that stuff is happening really fast.
That's why some of the most talented riders in the world are right here at the AMA NGPC series. Some of the most finely conditioned athletes in the world are right here. There's no off season for these guys. Just talk to them. People like Giacomo Redondi, they never stop training. They never stop working. A lot of gym time, a lot of road work, a lot of time on the motorcycle. A lot of them like to cycle. Everything you got to do, but there's not many days off for any high-level competitors out here.
Yeah, no, and like we said, there's lots of other guys in this field, lots of other classes. I know that the winner of the 4-stroke 98cc Open A class at round 1, I believe, was Lane Lorenzo, and he's out front again with Andrew Scholes right on his tail, about a second back. But we'll keep an eye on that. Like I said, that's the feeder class to the Pro 2 class. But Lane out there on his, I believe Lane is on a gas. So he's out there putting in a show for all the fans as well as the big guys. And I would imagine that next year, Lane will probably go up just like Dustin Davis did this year.
That's what's great to see everybody climbing that ladder system. We got to spend some time with Lane Lorenzo yesterday. He wanted to give a big shout out to Ava Silvestri for helping him, hooking him up with gas. Won 2 classes in Delano as that man, Dante Oliveira, looks like he's out for a Sunday drive. And check it out, Mateo not letting him get too far away. Again, his brother, 2 years older, has instructed Mateo, stay with me, follow me here. And it'll be interesting to see. I got to say, it looks like Mateo, I think he's probably the most improved over the offseason. He was fast last year, but he looks like he's just found another gear this season.
Yeah, he had glimpses of what he could do and what he's doing actually right now. He had glimpses of it last year, but he was, and he'd run up front, but he just was off that podium all year long. So this is kind of a cool thing to see. These guys are, I don't want to say checking out, but they definitely have a lead on third of the SLR Honda of Tyler Lynn. And again, they both look like they're just kind of flowing, finding some lines. Now this about the third lap. The first lap is kind of clench your teeth and grind them a little bit to find some lines. These guys are starting to find the lines and starting to find the fast lines of what they're going to run pretty much all race long unless something changes. So they're gonna get faster because now they know where to go. But both of them kind of checking out and making it, they're gonna make it boring for everybody. And when you're a racer that right now it looks like the Oliveira has about a 13-second lead on Lynn and 27 seconds already on Dare. So Dare got a really bad start, and hopefully he can make up some time.
Pit boards coming out, mechanics out there. Let's hope they just stay back after what happened to Joe Shimoda. With those pit boards, they can hurt at speed. They can break fingers.
Yeah, and you wouldn't think that. You would, and I think it's a bad thing for Joe, but, it happens. So right here, this is Mason Simmons out front, Zeller in second, Kai in third. I believe Kai even did Anaheim Supercross.
I saw him there, talked to him. He's done. He's going to try to do all the West rounds, he said. And I patted him on the back, and I asked him if the skills transfer over, and he said some of them, but he said it's just way different. The high speed stuff here versus the very tight, methodical, technical stuff in Supercross is like night and day. But I got to give him a big pat on the back, and I think the sky's the limit for him. He says his next race, I do believe, will be Arlington, Texas, as he runs the West Series.
Yeah, it's definitely all about timing. But that's skills to be able to go from Supercross and something that is so skilled and so precise, and be able to make it through without getting hurt. Because there's guys, the pro circuit team has a curse on them, but it's definitely one of those things to where they're trying to keep guys healthy, and those are guys that do it all the time. And then we got somebody like Kai who's just out there going, hey, I'm going to go do this. This sounds like fun. So it's a shout out to him for sure.
Well, it looks like we got some lines developing in this section now. That will certainly help those riders. It was fresh this morning, as Mark mentioned. People going through there for the first time ever. Looks like they're carrying some more speed. Watch, look at how loose it is, that white sand down there. We'll see if that's a spot where the paddle tire excels. Talking to some of these crew chiefs and mechanics, they told me the consensus with the 250s was put the paddle on. Talked to Mark Samuels, though, from SLR, and he said one reason why some of the 450 guys didn't like the paddle is it makes the grip so much better that it feels like the bike has more horsepower, and some of these riders like a more neutral feel. They don't want the bike to react that quick, depending on rider preference.
And that makes sense. When you say it like that, that definitely makes sense. Sometimes it's hard to hold on to those 450s, and you don't want to have to hold on to it with it just kind of ripping out of your, and I know those SLR Hondas are fast. They're set up. They're definitely good. I believe Jamie from Twisted Development does a lot of work there, and I know that their handling is really well with the guys at Showa Suspension. They have factory support through Honda, so that would make sense. Sometimes I don't want my Cowie to come out from underneath me, so.
Big shout out to our leader in 25 plus Junior A, the talented Trevor Hunter, who's really been climbing the ranks, the best in the desert superstar. I know we're going to see him in Open Pro someday. Really fast. His brother told me a story too. His brother Kai. He says Trevor is the number 22 as a tribute to his favorite artist Taylor Swift, who has a song about being 22. That's what Kai Hunter told me about Trevor Hunter. So hey, Trevor. Taylor Swift in the Super Bowl this year coming up, so maybe it'll work for Trevor. She's doing well, her boyfriend's doing well, and Trevor Hunter's doing well out here in the series.
Yeah, I don't know what to say about that one. That one's a little scary to me, that if that's true, but Kai might not be telling us the truth on that one, but he's definitely in a stat class. It's that basically the vet class. I think it's plus 25A, but there's some fast guys in there, like we were saying, the Nick Nays, the Blythe local, and the guy who pretty much took the lion's share of the big Kawasaki contingency yesterday in that class, and so congratulations to him. But in the 4-stroke A class, Lorenzo's still out front. Scholes is right on him by a second. Fry's in third. Bentley, Watson. Dustin Watson is another kid that just came up, and then Harlem Nielsen. Sorry, see, I messed up his name again, but Harlem Nelson. Both Brennan and Harlem have done lots of test riding for the magazine and helped us out. And Kodiak Lehman is the other young man in that class that moved up that we got to keep an eye out for. His dad is the legendary Team Green rider Oakley Lehman, and now into stunts and doing stuff. So Oakley's not riding anymore. He's kind of focusing on the Ridge and Kodiak on their racing careers coming up. So it's great to see. Like we said, Hunter out front, Workman in second. Hingefeld is a new guy to Hingefeld coming out for the plus 25A junior class. He was in the pro class a couple years ago, but Denton, Lynn, Garvin, Fry, and then Nays, the young man that took it all yesterday, Stover, and rounding out the top 10 got Pheasant.
A lot of traffic out there as we're not even 30 minutes into this race, guys. We will go at least 90 minutes. That's the way it works out, that they will make sure we're not 1 second under the 90-minute mark. They'll do some calculations here, the staff, and determine when to throw that white flag. But we know we've got at least another hour and 6+ minutes remaining in round number 2 of the NGPC series, presented to you by Rocky Mountain ATV MC, hosted by the Prospectors, presented by FMF. All these great sponsors, we really do appreciate you as we got great battles all around. Trevor Hunter continues to lead in 25+ Junior A. Dante Oliveira continues to lead in the Open Pro category. Pit stop should be coming up in, let's say, another 30-40 minutes. But, you know, the one reason I asked about the deep sand marks, I'll never forget, I think it was 2 seasons ago, that crazy race at Buffalo Bills where it was deep sand in Vegas and everybody ran out of gas. That was nuts.
Yeah, it boiled down to the KTM Husky gas teams running different mapping and different gas, and it went a little bit. It burned gas a little bit faster than they thought. Right now, we're looking on the screen at Mason Simmons on his RPM KTM, and he just passed through the Open Pro class. I saw him pass Justin Heff when Justin Heff went off the off course a little bit, and like we said, Justin is coming back from a knee reconstruction surgery and just trying to race himself back into shape and go from there. So this is them going through the hot pits, and there's Mason, and then there's Heff. They're not technically in the same class, but they're going for the overall because there is an overall finish. I think they do corrected time and stuff like that. So lots of action going on.
Yes, kudos to Heff. So great to have him back. Really devastating what happened to him at Mammoth, which required knee surgery, but that just speaks to how tough this sport is. Very, very hard to stay healthy, and we've driven that point home with Colton the Cowboy Eck, who he's hoping this is his year coming in, leading the series, got the white plate in the Pro 2 category, but we'll see if that remains the case as we work our way through this one. Open Pro category, Dante Oliveira out front, followed closely by his brother. There is the 39 of Zeller on the Husqvarna. He's flying out there. Tyler Lynn, 13 seconds back of the leader. Dare DiMartello in his factory beta, about 27 seconds back on his tail, the Pro Circuit machine of Giacomo Redondi. Ryan Surratt's still up there as well, from what I understand, visiting with Ryan. Knee issues still hindering him as well. He's fast, he's looking good, but it's really hard to ride through that pain.
Yeah, it's definitely any kind of knee injury is not a fun. Any kind of injury is not fun, but knees are hard because you're using them all the time. It's kind of like a hand injury. You're using it all the time. You can't really mask that pain. So hopefully Ryan can take we have a little bit of time off in this series right after this round, and hopefully he can take that time and heal up, and if not, go get it fixed. So. In the Pro 2 class, we got Mason out front, Cole Zeller in second, Kai in third, Simpson in fourth, Pritchard in fifth, Schmale in sixth, Davis in seventh. So Michaela's leading the women's pro class, but not by very much. She only got a 7-second lead on Ava Silvestri. So close racing. These guys just kind of getting out there and getting to where they're starting to feel where the track is and where they can make time, and I think in the next couple laps we'll see some movement. But right now this drone footage brought to you by Seed Concepts. We're watching Cole Zeller come down off of the top section into the bottom section, and he'll kind of weave his way around a little bit and then make his way back up to the top.
Yeah, great drone coverage courtesy of Seed Concepts. Love the ISOs here. Shout out to our very talented Ross Fitz, Aaron Kennard production crew that's just doing a great job. Taking a look at Cole Zeller. I love watching this bike dance around. Love watching that suspension work. It is just crazy, guys. I can tell you this too. Don't want to put the hex or the jinx on anybody, but let me report this, that yesterday there was a full day of racing. I was here, watched the entire day. We had several incidents. The good news is everybody was okay. Big shout out to the entire medical team, the safety team here, though. They were right on top of everything, but that's just how difficult this track was. It was not what I saw at Delano. We didn't have many incidents, but there were several points yesterday where we had to stop the race. Even saw a couple red flags come out, unfortunately, and I think that speaks to just how grueling this track is.
Yeah, and like we were saying earlier, so that's what it would be. You just saw Zeller on the screen go through the pro-only section. That's what it would be if these guys didn't get any water down on this section. I mean, they weren't able to get the water. So right there, that's what the course would look like. And that's definitely not what the course looks like. So these guys have done a great job when it comes to watering this. The riders are able to stay close and make sure that they can race against each other, and great racing going on.
Look at it. It looks like almost an extended whoop section on some of these straightaways from all the braking bumps and all the acceleration bumps out there. Look at that suspension.
Well, and right there coming up from the bottom, that doesn't do it any justice. That right there those are supercross size whoops. If you can get down in there, like you kind of come up and you go from, okay, high speed stuff to now you're just hammering through whoops.
That separates the men from the boys. That fast ones make it look easy. Get up on the pegs, grab a fistful of throttle, and let that suspension do its work. And oh yeah, hang on tight. This one definitely got to be one of the favorite courses of a lot of suspension experts out there, like Bones Bacon and Bob Bell and all the other great companies. I know TBT is here. Travis talked to him yesterday. So many racers were struggling with setup. He was offering free sag adjustments yesterday, which I thought was super cool. Also working with the clickers. Also, there was a big line in front of his trailer. A lot of people changing fluids and fork seals after a very rough and demanding Saturday here.
Yeah, no, it's great. Like Bob Bell was parked over from Precision Concepts, was parked over by our rig, and saw guys with all kinds of different suspension companies coming over, having him set sag. And Bob, just like the guys from TBT, are set up to where they can rebuild your forks in the back of their van or in their box van or whatever. They can take care of whatever you need. And that's amazing to me that they can take a fork and a shock apart and, we can revalve it and do everything we need to do. So right there, we're watching Kyle Aiello make his way around this course. And, I mean, just think, he's one of the best riders in off-road, if not in all of motocross. And we were talking about him doing supercross. It looks like he's not even going that fast, but I can attest to it. He is flying right now.
He's very smooth. That's one of the reasons why it doesn't look like he's going quite as fast. There's our leader, Mason Simmons, out of Australia with the green plate, trying to get the white plate back, trying to come in as the leader. We'll see what he can do. Mason Simmons out of Melbourne, Australia, KTM 250 XCF. He is also your defending Works Pro 250 champion. Works had a race here last week. Good opportunity for a lot of people to gain a lot of seat time here. I think it was a big advantage to have raced here last week.
The course was a lot different. They had some different sections. There was a couple guys that came out and did that. I mean, when it all comes to it and it all comes to race day, it's all about that right hand and twisting that throttle and going for as fast as you can for as long as you can. So, there might be a little bit. These guys are so well-rounded, though. I don't think it's a make or break thing for them, but they are definitely well-rounded. And there's that four-stroke A-class again with Lorenzo out front, Scholes in second, Fry in third, Harlem Nelson in fourth, Bentley in fifth, and Brendan Watson in sixth. So that's definitely a highly contested class, and we're going to keep an eye on that because we can see Scholes might have something for Lorenzo in the end, and Harlem Nelson making some he's got to make up a bunch of time, but he's making some moves from the back of the pack moving forward.
30 minutes gone here from Blythe, California. Round number 2 of the NGPC series, presented by FMF, hosted by the Prospectors, brought to you by Rocky Mountain ATV MC. Hope you're loving the coverage. Jack Rapella, Mark Tilley with you. And boy, we still got a long way to go, at least 57 minutes before they throw the checkered flag on this one. Pit row getting ready. These teams getting loosened up before they break out those quick dump cans, before they break out those new goggles. As we've got everybody coming through, here comes Giacomo Redondi, Team Pro Circuit, going to put something on that message board, a look back from some of the rest of the field. They'll see where they're at as we continue to work our way through. There's the very talented SLR Honda team. Boy, they've got some great mechanics over there. Love talking with those guys. And it will be a fight to the finish here in round number 2. So to update you on the storylines so far, our defending champions are flexing their muscles. Dante Oliveira leading the Open Pro category. Mason Simmons leading Pro 2. And Michaela Moto KK Nielsen leading the Pro Women's category.
Yeah, it's definitely, and the shot we're looking at right now is those guys coming through the hot pits. It looks like some of the Pro 2 guys are catching some of the back markers of the Open Pro class. So I know you're looking at on the left-hand side where you see Zeller a lap down. That's really that they just haven't come through timing and scoring. I believe that looks like Kai right there. So Kai's in third. So hopefully Zeller has come through. So once that refreshes, you'll see that. But they're not actually a lap down. They're just seconds behind. So it's definitely this great footage that we can see how it is and what the teams are doing when their riders are coming around.
Yes, big shout out to Kurt of NGPC. You saw James Burtock moments ago of our very talented TV crew. There's a lot of work behind the scenes on a series standpoint and a TV production standpoint, and we thank each and every one of these individuals for bringing it to you live. As I said before, thank those great sponsors like Skaggs Racing that you see up there, like Honda that you see up there, FMF on the big inflatable billboard, because they're the ones that are making this possible. And as always, what I like to say, thank your local promoter. It's a lot more work than people think, organizing one of these series and making it happen, especially when it's tough to find tracks, tough to get some of these race courses you need permits for. A lot of work behind the scenes to make it happen, Mark.
Yeah, definitely. There's a lot of unsung heroes, as they say, but lots of new sponsors coming on to the NGPC scene this year with the biggest one with Pro Circuit coming back with a Kawasaki team and with Giacomo Redondi and Bones and Billy and the crew and everybody over there. Like that part is great to see. But I always like to say, make sure that when you need your suspension done or you need a pipe or you need a tire or whatever, look who's around you. Look who the people that are supporting you. Make sure you support them because they're spending money to be here. They're spending money to do this kind of stuff, and they're supporting what you love to do, so make sure you support them back.
That's right. Thank you to all of our great sponsors. We really appreciate it. Bringing this live coverage to you. Got bad news for the 22 of Trevor Hunter. According to our data, Workman worked his way around him, and he is now your leader in the 25-plus Junior A category. Dante Oliveira, though, continues to lead this thing.
Yeah, Justin Workman has been putting in the work. He's changed up his training program a little bit for the 30 class, and I'm waiting to see when Hinchefeld decides to start going because, like I said, he's not that far off of the. I think he's a couple years out of the pro class, so I think that he was able to drop back down from the AA class to the A class. So, it's definitely Workman out front, and he's got a 5-second lead on Hunter and a 15-second lead on Hinchefeld, but. Man, those guys are all 15 seconds, not that big of a deal. And I know Hinchefeld. I mean, his dad, Steve Hinchefeld, is an off-road legend that I got to race against. But I mean, you go down to Baja and you're with a celebrity. The person we're looking at right now is Lane Lorenzo on that gas in that 98 to I believe it's just called the 4-stroke Open A class. But like I said, this is the feeder class to the Pro 2 class. We saw Dustin Davis dominate this class last year, and now Dustin is in the Pro 2 class doing everything that he can in that class. But like we said, there's a lot of different classes on the line right here. It's not just the premium pro classes that we have, but like I said, you have the with Lorenzo in there, and then I believe that Scholes is still in second, not that far behind, and then Watson was in the top 10 along with Harlem Nelson and Oakley, with Kodiak Lehman making that run. So that's the running order of the class that we're speaking about right now on the left-hand side. So we got Lorenzo, Scholes, Fry, Nelson, Watson, Bentley, Smith, Binford, Lehman, and Williams is your top 10 in that class. And those guys are the kids that are coming. So you're going to hear these names for lots of years to come because they're training, they're working hard, and this is, for some of them, this is their first year in this class.
Yes, it is. Lane Lorenzo, too. What a great story. He stepped up, talked to him yesterday. He's been riding dirt bikes since he was 3 years old. Took that daunting climb up the ladder, grabbed the next rung, and doubled up in Delano. I asked him if he was surprised, and he said, hey, I work hard. This is what I want. So I think someday we definitely will see him in the Open Pro category. And as I mentioned before, how commendable is it that Ava Silvestri has really, really helped out Lane Lorenzo? He told me straight up, he said, she's the reason I have gas. She comes up here and trains with me a lot. I asked Ava, I said, Ava, why are you doing so much for Lane? It's awesome. And she said, people helped me when I was coming up, and I just want to do the same for others.
Yeah, and that's a great thing about this sport, especially in off-road. Those guys are helping each other.
Mark Tilley, 22. The Taylor Swift machine getting a fill-up from the one and only Craig Hunter, NGPC. Pit stops already?
Hey, they're different kind of strategy. I just like that Craig's out there and doing something out there, because then that means he's not in the booth bothering us, telling us what to do.
Wearing many hats here this weekend, but that is a great racing family, the Hunters. That's so cool. They have a passion for this. That's one of the reasons why they do it. They run a company called the Dent Dock, and on the weekends they're usually loaded up with multiple dirt bikes, motorhome, trailer, out in the desert somewhere, racing away, having fun.
And I get to see Trevor Hunter at a lot of the media events because he works for Jimmy Lewis at Dirt Bike Test. So it's definitely a cool thing. I get to see Trevor all the time and talk to him and kind of run stuff around him. But yeah, you're right. Craig and the crew at NGPC, Craig making a lot of changes to this in the last few years, working with the entire crew at NGPC. And it's great to see it. They brought a lot of sponsors to this, and it's like I said, it's nice to see that there is people that are jumping on board. I mean, shoot, Craig this morning was out there announcing. Like he said, you were sleeping in bed and at your hotel, and he was out there announcing and throwing stuff. He was doing the 10-second thing and all kinds of stuff. So great to see, great to watch the drive and everything and trying to make everything better.
Well, it's true. I need my beauty sleep, obviously. I don't know if I got enough of it here. Can't catch up to you. But, the big thing is I wonder if Trevor Hunter, perhaps, was there a problem, or is it telling? Do they think they got enough fuel to make it the next 50 minutes, get that pit stop over with, and now he can work on Workman? Is that a precursor of what we may see for some guys behind this man, Dante Oliveira? Like perhaps if you're running 3, 4, 5, 6 in Open Pro, maybe if you can make it on fuel, maybe now's the time to come in and try to run down Dante. The only problem for them is, man, that KTM team, they have such quick, flawless pit stops. You hope for a mistake. Talk to the Factory Beta guys as well in Anaheim, too. Carlin Gardner, Rodney Smith, shout out to all them. They watch everything. They really love this series, and they are big fans of Dare. And they told me, they were like, if Dare wouldn't have dropped his goggles on the pit stop in Delano, he might have had a chance to really be up there. One mistake like that can really cost you in the pits.
Yeah, and it shows how hard these guys are trying, how hard these guys are training. I mean, it's impressive. We're 40 minutes in, and those guys, the brothers are seconds apart. So, yeah, and I heard, or I even saw that Dare had they dropped the goggles, and then there was some kind of film still on the inside, so it was kind of hard to see, but impressive. Like that guy is talented, and he's going to win some races if he can just get to these guys. I mean, these two, it's a testament to their training and their off-season work and everything like that. Like, these guys are within a second of each other, so this might be Mateo's chance to see what he can throw down and go from there. But this is a great drone shot. You're not going to get this anywhere else. Like, this is a great drone shot of where they're going. Like, and if I remember right, I'm not sure that was a line that, maybe it was, but I was thinking that might not be the line that Dante was taking in the beginning, but maybe it is. Or is that Mateo that got around Dante? It looks like it.
Wait a minute. We're going to have to sort this one out. Is the 831 now ahead of the 1? We'll get a closer look. We know it's 2 orange bikes.
Their styles are slightly different, but
I think you may be onto something. Does Dante have an issue? Does Dante have a problem? Or is it strategy? Is Dante maybe laying back a little bit, pushing his brother, knowing they got a comfortable lead, knowing they have pit stops coming up? What is going on? Let us know what you think down below in the comments, whether you're watching live or watching on demand. I think you are right, Mark, as they continue to come up on lap traffic. Mateo Oliveira leads his brother, Dante Oliveira, around this course, Shorty Sports Complex in Blythe, California.
Or we could be wrong. Remember, everything we're saying is completely, it's officially unofficial, is what they say. So, I mean, their styles are close. There is a little bit of a difference. I'd be surprised if he got around him, but timing and scoring might not have caught up with it yet. Different line selection right there. And so, I mean, said with that drone footage, we saw drastically different lines coming through the pro section. And then they kind of funnel back into the same lines right in here. But we're going to get a chance to see right here when they come back at us is that the big number 1 or is that the 831?
Well, remember, a 5-mile course here, we can't see every inch of it. Something may have happened in that section that you've talked so much about, that new section today. It looked like the bike split off there as that Mateo gets a little bit offline.
That is, Mateo did get around his brother. So first glimpse of some free space and getting able to be out front and knowing what it feels like. It's the air out front gets really thin really quick, and you start holding your breath, and is this the time that I get to do this, or is this a strategy? Does Dante have a little bit of a strategy? Maybe he wants to see where Mateo's going fast and why he's able to stay with them and see if those lines are the same, because they do have 45 minutes left probably around in there, and this will be about the time, maybe in the next 10-15 minutes, to where they decide to do some pit stops and go from there. And like you said, the crew over at KTM does such a great job. They're all professionals. All of those mechanics know how to do everything. Timmy Wiegand has them kind of trained and going in the right direction, and it's just a great thing to see.
That's right. Timmy here with us this weekend. Great to see him. Bobby Dawson, the head wrench on the Dante Oliveira machine. Like I said, don't quote me, but I believe Mateo got around on that really bumpy new section that goes a little bit off course. Let's hope Dante didn't go down, or this could just be a part of strategy. Let's be honest here, too. These athletes are finely conditioned, but when you're talking about 90 minutes out there, I know a lot of times in long-distance running, marathon running, some racers will go out, some runners will go out, and they'll just stay with the pack before they get that kick at the end. Do you think there's ever that mentality here of, hey, let's not burn ourselves out, let's not push too hard, let's not ride on the ragged edge, we're comfortable, we got a lead? Maybe they told them on the pit board, you guys got room. Does that work into this at all when you talk about psychology?
Oh, it definitely could. It definitely could. I noticed that if that is Mateo out front, he's kind of trying some different lines and trying to change it up a little bit, and seeing sometimes it's just pressure. You just put a little bit of pressure on somebody and you stay close to them, and right about the time that they just kind of go, this guy's not going anywhere, I give up. And so, that might be a little bit of the strategy there, but it's nice to see somebody putting the screws to the champion, the 5-time champion, and it just happens to be in the same family.
Just happens to be his brother. I can't even repeat everything that was said over there at the KTM pit yesterday, but I asked Mateo, what would the celebration be like the first time you beat brother? He had a big smile on his face. Brother had some choice words, and they just said, look, it's going to happen someday. We know that for sure. Something else that happened over there that I got to tell you about that's crazy, and I guess everybody watching this, I'll let you in on one of the secrets that they live by. Have you ever had a shot of oil of oregano?
No.
They were doing it over there at KTM.
Well, now we're going to see. We will definitely see who's out front. And, hey, for the first time, we might be right. That was Mateo out front with his brother in tow. That right there is Justin Workman, who is leading that plus 25A class. So they're starting to pass up into there's the brothers, and then there's Workman. It looks like Workman's coming in for a pit stop as well. Maybe he saw Trevor come in and say, "Hey, I might as well jump on the bandwagon." But now those guys are only 11 seconds behind Workman. Looks like he stayed in the lead going back out.
So we'll see as we come up on lap traffic. The Oliveira brothers flawless today. Dante chasing down the 2-year younger Mateo. But Mark, you might have to try it. They were doing this oil of oregano shot. It's tough. It's tough to take. It's supposed to reduce inflammation and wake you up, but it may make you want to gag and throw up. And they were testing it out on some people, including me yesterday. I'm glad I got my voice back. It could be one of their secret weapons. Right now, Mateo Oliveira leads Dante. Will that continue? We'll find out when we return. Stay with us. Round number 2 of the NGPC series. We'll be back right after this.
Every generation believes they've invented the best way. With age comes wisdom. We've come to realize that every piece of knowledge is learned, passed down from those generous and patient enough to teach.
Take a look.
Legacy. It's not about leaving something behind to be remembered by. It's realizing that the future lies within the next generation.
Let's call it a night. All right.
The nature of true progress is humbly building something bigger than yourself. Rocky Mountain ATV MC. This is our legacy.
Thanks, fellas.
Business in the front, party in the back. The all-new Kawasaki Ridge.
The Rocky Mountain ATV NGPC series presented by FMF, hosted by the Prospectors. Great battle between these factory Red Bull KTM brothers. Your 5-time defending champion on the back fender of his 2-year younger brother, Mateo Oliveira. What a great battle, guys. They're banging bars. Woo! Dante coming up on him.
And we got to give a shout out to Scott Perkins telling us that while we were away earlier talking about other classes, that Mateo actually made the pass on around lap 3. So he's been out front for a while. We just kind of caught up to him, but that's impressive that he's been able to be out front. I don't think anybody's able to have been out front of his brother for the last few years for that.
Well, speaking of caught up with him, as Mateo puts a little bit of a gap on his brother, we were able to speak with Mateo yesterday and gather his thoughts. Let's see what he had to say. All right, let's actually stay with this battle here. They cue this one up. We don't want to pull away too soon. We don't want to miss a pass. That we got these two brothers so competitive. Did a lot of suspension testing, like I said, this past week up in Hollister, California. Feel like they really got these factory Red Bull KTMs dialed in. And right now, Mateo continues to hold that lead. Okay, so we didn't want to step away just then because we thought we might miss potentially a pass, but Mateo holding his own. So as Mateo comes up on a lapped rider, gets around cleanly, let's hear what Mateo had to say yesterday. At our first race of the season, it was clearly evident who put in the hard work over the winter. And I got to say, I think I was most impressed with Mateo Oliveira. It was a great 1-2-3 battle. We knew Dante, the defending champion, would be in there. We knew Dare DeMartil would be in there. But Mateo, a big step up, man. You were right in the mix. You look even faster than last year. What have you done over the offseason?
Nothing too crazy. Just maybe a little bit more hours on the bike and just trusting the process. You know, it's that's a bold thing to say, and everyone's just riding more or whatever, but just trusting the work you're putting in. I'm feeling good. I have a good program behind me. It's just believing in it all.
Your brother is the dominator out here, 5-time champion. You get to train with him every single day. What has he been telling you? How do you see it in terms of what you need to close the gap and catch up to him?
Honestly, he's been hurt for like 3 to 5 months. So I've been doing a lot of days by myself, just riding a lot by myself, but we've been together for a lot of years, and I've seen the work he puts in and just how he carries himself. And he doesn't have to tell me a whole lot because I can just watch. But he feeds in where he feels I'm lacking, let's say. And yeah, it's a great dynamic and work how we work together. So it's cool.
If you could take me back to that first race, it was great seeing that 1-2-3 battle. You guys provided a lot of excitement for us. That's what we root for on the live stream. What was that like being right there in the mix and banging bars with Dare for that many laps?
It was cool, and honestly, I haven't been in that position in a long time, really battling and like racing with the top guys. So that was new for me. It felt good. I really liked it, and it was interesting. Just up there with Dare, he gets super creative riding. You can definitely hear him behind you, and then but it was hard because I was trying to focus on that track. You're trying to find the edge and try and find the grip the whole time. So it was a hard thing to balance, and I was just having fun and trying to send it, and I really wanted to get up front and lead a lap. That was my goal, get up front, lead a lap, and fell a little short, but good start and definitely a good base to start the first round in the series.
What's it going to take to get it done here in Blythe?
A little bit of the same. Execute that first lap, stay up front, and just staying on the charge, you know, staying in there. If I am, let's say, trailing or something, it's just staying in that fight. I have the speed and I have the fitness to go the duration, so it's just staying in it the whole time.
Wish you the best of luck. And I got to ask you this. If by chance we see that 831 come in before the 1, if you can beat Big Brother one of these times, what was the celebration going to be like back here in the pits?
I'll be hype. Just shake his hand, tell him thank you, you know, because I've learned a lot from him, and he's paved the way for me.
Very cool. Best of luck to you. A lot of respect over here, and I'm telling you, keep an eye on Mateo. You know, he just gets faster season after season, and he's waiting for that breakout performance. Great family, and I think we might have given them the announcer's jinx because as we were playing that, you saw it on your screen, they both came in for pit stops, and Dante Oliveira, courtesy of the Bobby Dawson pit stop special, gets out just a little bit before his brother. Now it's the 831 that's given chase.
Well, yeah, and you could see in that pit stop, like I said on the screen, Dante had a little bit more urgency than what Mateo did getting into that next turn, and that got him track position. And that might be one of those things to where he's used to doing that by running up front, having that urgency and getting that, it might only be inches, it might only be feet, but as long as you cross that line first or on this track position, it's kind of, I guess we like to call it racecraft.
Love it. Great battle between these two brothers. Always exciting, always thrilling. I told him yesterday, I said, Jake Paul and Logan Paul have nothing on YouTube. The Oliveira brothers, we'll watch that battle on pay-per-view anytime.
Yeah, and it's great. They're out here. They got a minute lead on Tyler Lynn on that SLR Honda in second, and Tyler has almost a minute lead on Dare D. Martel in third. So it's shaping up to where it's an all about the Oliveira. It's all about the family and all about who and how hard they can push and who can push the hardest when it comes down to it. So and these guys taking definitely different lines through this stuff. Dante goes off to the left, Mateo usually goes off to the right, and kind of goes from there. So we didn't see Mateo in that screen.
Let's hope everything's okay. Dante,
there he is. He might have already gone
out
off
big time.
Yeah.
I think that might have been, your source might have to tell us, but I think that might be where Mateo got him in that section. We don't know for sure. As we said, guys, don't hold us too accountable. We try to cover this race the best we can, and I think this TV crew is doing a fine job. But remember, 5 miles, about 5 cameras. We too have our challenges. We can't see every single inch of it, but we'll keep you posted just the best we can. And we appreciate everybody watching this live coverage presented to you by Honda. Seat Concepts, Skaggs Racing out there with some amazing drone coverage. We got 30 minutes remaining in round number 2 of the NGPC series, and the big number 1 continues to lead his way around it. The big number 1 in the Pro 2 category also continues to lead as Mason Simmons is out in front. And oh man, I am looking at the leaderboard right now. As you said, Mark, officially unofficial, but I don't see Colton Eck running in the top 12. Let's hope he's in there. Sometimes a transponder could be missed, or it could be that injury that he's dealing with. Unfortunately, he might have had to pull off.
Yeah, well, hopefully that's not the case. I mean, Eck is definitely one of the tougher guys on the circuit, but hopefully he is okay, and that is some kind of transponder thing. The other thing that our armchair quarterback Scott Perkins is telling me is that Mason Simmons is up to 4th overall, and because they are doing the timing and scoring, and Mason Simmons has a shot at taking the overall win on corrected time. So it's definitely a nice thing. And yeah, Scott, we know you're definitely helping us out. We're just giving you a bad time about it. We appreciate all the help we can get. We wish you were here with us and not freezing back east and washing cars. But hey, it is what it is, and it's our benefit because we get to know exactly what all the expertise are. But it's great. There's so much race action going on. We got people texting us and talking to us about stuff and saying, hey, this is going on, that's going on, and it's just a great thing to see.
Oh, yes, it is indeed. Absolutely, guys. Great racing out here. Yeah, shout out to all you East Coast guys. They are frozen. You nailed it. A lot of our friends. My good buddy 7-0 Joe Koenig, he's watching. He's ice racing today in Wisconsin, getting warmed up with some of this coverage here from Blythe.
Big changes in that plus 25A class. Hingefeld finally came alive, and he's got the lead now. And it looked like Trevor Hunter got back around Workman. So lots of racing action going on just about everywhere. We need to check in with that 4-stroke Open A class and see if Lorenzo is still out front and making good things happen. So lots of racing action going on, lots of different classes on the track. Just great. NGPC brings it all, and they bring it to you live.
Yes, they do. We've come a long way from having to wait a few months to see what happened when your favorite magazine comes out. And trust me, I still love reading every page of Dirt Bike Magazine, a tremendous publication. But the game has changed. The game has changed with this beautiful live coverage that we take a look at right now, presented to you by Honda and Seat Concepts. 27 minutes remaining in this race. Lane Lorenzo looks to go back-to-back as he continues to lead the 4-stroke A-Class. There he is out there on his Gas 313, the man from Northern California with the 7-gear. The way that he's running, I don't think it's going to be too long before we see him step up into the Open Pro category. We had an opportunity to talk to Lane Lorenzo yesterday as he airs it out feeling good. Let's talk to your leader and see what he had to say. Another thing I love about the NGPC series is the ladder system. We see kids start out when they're very young on 65cc bikes, 50cc bikes, and work their way all the way up to the pro categories. I'd like to introduce you to Lane Lorenzo, who made a huge leap this year. And Lane, I might have to call you Delano, because in Delano, you pick up 2 wins, 250A and Open A. How were you able to succeed so quickly after this big jump up?
Yeah, you know, my dad, he's pretty hard on me. We grind. So, you know, we grind on the bike, off the bike, lots of cycling, lots of lifting, and we just made a really big push this year on the off-season, and it paid off. So we're looking forward to this round.
It's great to see all this youth in the sport. You just turned 18. You told me you've been riding since you were 3 years old. What is the best advice you could pass on for another rider trying to climb these ranks and get to where you're at?
Yeah, just keep your head in the right space and just grind. You have to go a lot of off-the-bike training, more than even on-the-bike training. I'm probably 3 days a week off the bike and 2 days on the bike, or maybe even more than that most of the time. So yeah, just lots of time in the gym.
Were you surprised that you were able to win 2 races at Delano? Were you expecting that?
Yeah, I mean, I was confident coming in. I've been riding with Dare and Ava, and my speed's pretty good, so I was confident coming in.
Tell me about your program and what motorcycle you're on this year.
Yeah, I signed with Gas Factory Support, so I have a little deal with Gas this year, but we're racing MC250F, and it's working good, so we're stoked.
All right, so final question for you here, just like I asked you to pass on advice. What's the best advice you've heard so far from some of the individuals in the pro category that I'm sure you want to be one of someday?
Yeah. Yeah, it's just lots of work. So,
well, you are off to a great start, my friend. Who do you want to thank?
Mom, Dad, Tanner for giving me this opportunity with Gas. 707, Guts, Level 1 Graphics, RK Excel, and everyone else. Thank you.
He's moving up the ranks, and he's making it pay off. Lane Lorenzo, or maybe Delano Lorenzo. We might be calling him Blythe Lorenzo here this weekend. Yeah, let's call him Blythe Lorenzo, because he's doing it again. Dominant. When you see a rider like this step up and is so dominant, it almost reminds me of like a talent like Hayden Deegan, how you saw him climb the ranks so quickly. He would go to Loretta's and just smoke everybody in the top class. Are we going to see Lane sooner rather than later in the Open Pro category?
Yeah, I think that it'll be smart for him to stay in this category all year long, naturally win a championship, and then kind of move up. Basically in the footsteps, following in the footsteps of Dustin Davis. Dustin Davis on the Gas. I know Andy Jefferson was a big part of that with his relationship with Ty Davis. But I know that these kids, they're finding them, and they're the great part about it is he's kind of came through this farm program and now on the cusp of going into the Pro 2 class. Like he said, training. When you got people like Ava and people like Dare helping you out and working through it, it kind of doesn't get any better than that. But I mean, there is racing for everybody. My son Austin Tilley races in the 65 class, just moved up to the novice class. He got his first win in the novice class at Delano, and didn't go as smoothly here. He got second, but then my other son Jacob Tilley moved up as well into the 125 amateur class, and he's doing really well in there, coming back from a broken collarbone. This is his first race weekend, and he got the win in the class today. So it's a great thing to see. I mean, and it's not just my kids. I have lots of friends that are here. I have the Desjarnays and the Tryons, and just people that are in our group that they have kids racing, and they're going through all this stuff, and it's great family time. Like, it's a thing to where you're in a motorhome and you're with your family, and that doesn't happen very often. And because you're racing so much, you're in that motorhome more than you're at home most of the time. So it's kind of a cool thing. It makes a close family stay together. They always say that a family that races together stays together. So it's definitely a fun thing.
I believe that 100% as we take a look at the 27 of Justin Heft. Great to have him back here, coming off of reconstructive knee surgery, winner of the two-stroke nationals last year at Glen Helen. That's the next stop on the NGPC, but he has got to be making all the boys from Yamaha proud. My good buddy Donnie over there, Cody Lee, who's out with us here this year. And I'll tell you, everybody's talking about that 2025 Yamaha YZ250X. Let's find out a little bit more about the testing and development going on with Team Yamaha here this weekend.
That was a good segue.
I'm a big fan of vintage motocross bikes. I love studying 80s, 90s, and looking at how the bikes have evolved and just how slick they are and how efficient they are from the factory. Well, where did all this innovation come from? A lot of it came from racing and testing, and that's what my man Cody Lee is doing here, because Cody, we have got the brand new 2025 YZ250FX, and you're out here developing this thing. Tell me a little bit about what you're doing.
Yeah, so this weekend we just want to see how the stock bike does in the real world conditions here at West Coast Off-Road. This is what we developed the bike for, so we'll see how we do.
What are going to be the key areas that you're focusing on when you test a new bike like this?
It's always power character and suspension and chassis feeling out here in the off-road conditions. Bumpy, rocky, rough, so we'll see how we do.
Cody, how old are you?
I'm 29 years old.
All right, 29 years old, so not that old, but old enough that you've probably ridden some older motorcycles. Are you amazed at just how good these bikes are right now from the factory?
Yeah, anyone can get on one and go fast, so it's amazing the technology on the bikes these days, and yeah, much better than what I started riding when I was a kid, that's for sure.
Based on your experience, what are some of the early changes or adjustments you think you will make to dial this motorcycle in?
Just suspension clickers, probably, just to dial it in for the specific bump styles that form out here.
And what is your weight?
I'm about 160 pounds.
160. I got to believe that would make you tailor-made for a 250. You think you're pretty close here, stock?
Yeah, it should be pretty close, yeah.
What else are you looking forward to this weekend with what should be a very demanding track out there?
Yeah, hopefully not too much dust so we can stay in good vision, and just hanging out in the pits, meeting new people, and having a good time.
Well, we're glad you're here. We saw you at Glen Helen last year. Final thing for you is, what are you most excited about with this Yamaha? I know that everybody's talking about the new YZF.
I'm just excited to race it. This will be my first time racing the new 250FX, and a lot of the journalists this year got to race it in the GNCC out at Ironman, so this will be my first time to try it out, so I'm excited.
Well, good luck to you, Cody. And again, that's what you got to love about this series. They are in vogue. They are cutting edge. Brand new bikes are here. We'll see how this 2025 Yamaha does in competition. He's heavily interested, all the new bikes here. And I'll tell you, for the second time in a row, we have almost given it the announcer's jinx, because if you saw on the corner of your screen, Justin Heft almost lost it right there on his Yamaha machine, but a testament to that great suspension, just sucked it right up and kept on trucking.
Yeah, I've been able to actually, through the magazine, test all of their off-road bikes. Not only do they have a YZ250FX, they have a YZ450FX, then they have a YZ250X and a YZ125X that are for off-road. So they have 4-strokes and 2-strokes. Both of my sons are racing Yamahas. Austin's on a YZ65 and Jacob's on a YZ125 built by Schneike and Camila and the whole crew down at Pro Circuit. we're actually in the works of building a YZ125X for West Coast off-road racing, because the power comes on a little bit easier. They did a lot of testing and developing those motorcycles for GNCC type, tight woods type racing. So I'm sure that Cody, after that, probably came back and go, yeah, okay, wait a minute. We need to broaden out the power band. We need to make it a little bit. But on the X models, on the bigger X models, they have a lot of the same updates that the motocross models have, but they have different transmissions. So they have a higher first gear, or a taller first gear that gives you more power right off the bat. And then they have a larger or longer to run out on the sixth gear, so that it does have more power up top. So it'll be interesting to see what the research and development crew comes out with it. I mean, I know that Travis Preston, former Supercross champion, is part of that division, and so is Steve Butler, who was Damon Bradshaw's mechanic back in the day, and a very accomplished factory mechanic. So Steve's been around for a really long time and kind of making his way, and you can see Yamahas have been great for a long time. So not just 4-strokes. If you're a 2-stroke guy, they make an off-road version of that as well.
It's just amazing to me how great these bikes are right out of the box, right from the factory, how dialed in they are. Had an opportunity this past weekend actually to cover the Mika motorcycle auction with some of the stuff that I do on Cycle Drag. Talked to a guy, I don't know if you ever heard of him, his name is Steve Stackable, 70s champion on a Mako, and he showed me what Supercross courses used to look like, what the bikes used to look like, and I just am totally in awe of how far we have come with just how gnarly these courses are and how great the bikes are. And you think about all that innovation, which certainly came from racing.
Yeah, no, and that's in the early days is what they used to say is what we race on, so what wins on Sunday sells on Monday. So most of the motorcycle shops were closed on Monday because everybody's recuperating from Sunday. But definitely a lot of that stuff does come from the racing side of it. I know we're looking at our little area right now, and we see the legendary off-road rider Oakley Lehman getting his stuff all back together when it comes to he probably just pitted Kodiak and going back, but pretty soon, hopefully, we're going to see Oakley back on his KX450, on his Team Green KX450 out here riding with us.
And there's a look at Mason Simmons as he's out for a Sunday ride, flexing his muscles. Your leader here in the Pro 2 category, the man from down under, the man from Australia with the big green plate, looking to reclaim the point lead. He is in prime position to do that. We'll have to get an update on Colton Eck and see what happened to him. I hope he is okay. As for Mason Simmons, I'm glad his stomach is okay. That oil of oregano story I told you, they also got Mason with that. Poor Mason, because they tried to get Moto KK. She was smart enough not to take it, and she said, I think Mason might be getting sick on the side of the van. Thank goodness he didn't, but he thought he was going to get sick. So what we've learned, oil of oregano, not for everybody.
Well, and it looks like big news in the 25A junior class again. Our buddy Trevor Hunter out front by 31 seconds, so he's caught Hingeveld, past Hingeveld, and he's putting some time on these guys. So maybe Craig giving him a little bit of a pep talk when he came in to get that gas, or maybe that pit strategy is paying off.
Yeah, and that was 100% planned. We confirmed from Craig Hunter that that was a planned pit stop, wanted to bring in his son early, and apparently making all the difference for Trevor Hunter, the big 22 out there, the desert racing superstar, continuing to climb the ranks, looking to get atop the podium today in 25-plus Junior A. Dante Oliveira continuing to lead in Open Pro. Mason Simmons, your leader in Pro 2. The aforementioned Trevor Hunter here in 25-plus Junior A. Moto KK continues to lead on her SLR Honda in the women's category. And there's a look at Mason Simmons. Boy,
I can't tell you how rough that is right there. Those things are 10 feet. Like, he's going through it like it's no big deal, and he's actually passed, it looks like on track, he has passed Giacomo Redondi and Dare DiMartel. Mason is in fourth on paper and maybe getting close to that overall victory.
If you believe our live timing and scoring, I think he's lapped most of the field aside from second place. That's a day. on this 5-mile course. Dante Oliveira continues to lead out there. How far behind is Mateo? Does Mateo have anything left for brother as we continue to look at this soil out here, this track getting tough? Vision's starting to become a problem as well. Remember, when you get to this point in the race too, fatigue's starting to set in. These racers are dealing with dehydration. They're dealing with arm pump. They are totally spent trying to hang on to these motorcycles the best they can with their legs and go as quick as they possibly can. And we'll see who can make it to the finish line.
Lorenzo in that highly contested open 4-stroke open A class, still out front. It looks like he's got a minute lead right about now. So yeah, we might be calling him Blythe too. Maybe if that's what it is, he's got maybe some nicknames coming his way this next year. But it's great to see in that right now we have Lorenzo, Fry, Scholes. So it looks like Fry's making up some time. Scholes was running around in second for a long time, but it looks like he's got Fry has moved past him, and then Harlem Nelson definitely out making some moves. Not that far off of fourth place. So shout out to Harlem, and we can see that even Mr. Lehman, Mr. Kodiak Lehman, is going forward as well. So lots of racing action going on out there. It's definitely fun to see that we're following the drone footage brought to you by Skaggs Racing. Now Mason's on the far end of the course, and he's working his way through around, and that is the far section of the course that is coming in right by the entrance of Shorty's MX Park. And they'll kind of come back and get into the higher speed. So now we're looking at Dustin Davis on screen, who looks like he's in the moto section, kind of right in about the middle. But again, that's coming out of the open A class and making it to where that's definitely making that transition into the pro class.
All right, here we go. We got 10 minutes remaining. All of our defending champions flexing their muscles. Who's got the endurance to make it to the end? We'll find out. We'll be right back as round number 2 of the NGPC series will resume for the thrilling conclusion. We welcome you back to round number 2 of the NGPC series, and looks like that is indeed our five-time defending champion, Dante Oliveira. Not sure who he lapped right there or got around, but Dante has just been living up to his reputation today. His brother Mateo got around him for a short period of time. Dante was able to reclaim the lead when we came in for pit stops, and he has not relinquished it. He has not made a mistake since then. He's got about 6 more minutes left to go to bring it home to be a perfect 2 for 2 on this young season as Dante tries to become 6-time series champion. It's like watching the New England Patriots. It's like watching the Kansas City Chiefs. Can anybody stop the dynasty that is Dante Oliveira?
Well, and what it looks like right now, it's going to be in the family. On if anybody can stop him, it's going to be his brother. Like, and that looks like that's Blythe local Nick Nay's kind of feeling the late race pain on the KX450, but that was Dante get by him. But yeah, it does. It looks like they're going to keep it in the family. And even if you're going to get beat, it might as well be by your brother, and you can still be happy for him. But even that, he's only got 10 seconds on his brother, and they got a minute on third place. So again, a testament to their program. And it looks like in the Pro 2 class, we got Simmons out front, Zeller in second, Pritchard, who is the National Hare and Hound Specialist, in third now, Kai in fourth, and then newcomer to the class, Dustin Davis, up in the top 5. Now that's impressive.
What do you think the great Ty Davis thinks about his son's performance here?
It's funny. I actually, you get to catch up with everybody, but Ty stopped by my pit this morning, and I was talking to him about what it's like to have kids that are coming up, and and what you got to teach them and how you got to train them, and go from there. And Ty's having a blast with this. It's a great thing. I know Ty's dad helped him through all the stuff, and it's just a great thing to be. He was telling us that he went to King of the Hammers, and they did that whole shot thing with McGrath, and they both kind of got teamed up against McGrath, and just fun stuff to do. So Ty's having a blast with it. He's got lots of stuff. He's got a air moose here, and he changes tires and all kinds of stuff. So teaching them. Oh, it looked like Mateo going off the track a little bit. Was that Mateo? No, it was somebody else.
Lapper.
So that must be Nick Nays. Like I said, he's feeling the pain in these late motos. So, but yeah, Ty's loving it. He was talking. We were both going back and forth and talking about how great it is. I mean, like I said, I talk about my kids all the time, and having so much fun with them, and going from there. Ty's doing the same thing. So it's great to see.
About 4 minutes remaining. What a weekend it could potentially be for Team KTM. Chase Sexton gets the win last night in nearby Glendale, Arizona. Dante Oliveira and Mason Simmons, both of Team Factory Red Bull KTM, looking to win their respective categories here this weekend. So much racing success for KTM. Mark, you're the insider. We heard the big news. This company in a little bit of financial trouble. Everything going to be okay over at KTM?
Yeah, I think it's one of those things to where a lot of companies aren't as open with how everything goes when it comes to restructuring and everything like that. I don't think they're going anywhere. It's a great group over there at KTM and Gas and Husky. So hopefully they're not going anywhere. I don't think so. But it's just restructuring. Sometimes we got business to take care of.
Well, they better not be going anywhere, because their guys just keep dominating and winning races. I can tell you this as an East Coast guy from Pennsylvania too. It was odd to me, just because I know they can't keep KTMs on the dealership floors. They go so quick. Such a popular woods bike over there in the GNCC series. Speaking of GNCC, Dante Oliveira, will we see him go east and win any races this year like he did back in 2024?
You know what? It's definitely an opportunity. I think he's focusing on the West Coast and wanting to get that championship sewed up before he goes anywhere else. And I know that some of those budget cuts and some of that stuff might be coming into effect. But like I said, there's restructuring going on. These guys aren't going anywhere. And all the other manufacturers are starting to come into. We've heard some news that Kawasaki is coming out with a two-stroke. We don't know what kind of two-stroke, but if they made 125s and 250 two-strokes again, they'd sell every single one.
Well, I feel like you and I were way on top of that. Last year we were talking about that in our video, and you even hinted that maybe a KX300 could be coming. Who knows? We'll have to see what unfolds next. But I love two-strokes, so I'm a fan of that news.
Yeah, no, it's definitely... I don't think there's anybody in the moto industry that's not a fan of that news. It's just, it would be a great thing, and there is a stepping stone that's needed in the 125 class. Like I said, my son on a YZ 125. This is his second year on a YZ 125, and there's so much that you learn on a 125, and you learn to go fast so that when you get on a four-stroke, you can actually go fast. So, I wish Suzuki would bring them back. I'm grateful that Yamaha's still making them and never stopped making them. But Suzuki and Honda and Kawasaki, if they could bring it all back, then that would be great. I know I just saw Colton Eck that was still circulating. So he's still going around as they came by our booth in the pro pits. Also saw Kodiak Lehman go by and on his KX250X. So, lots of racing still going on. Nice to see that those guys are still making their rounds, but hopefully some of those other guys jump on that two-stroke bandwagon.
I love it. Two strokes forever. And I do believe the white flag has flown here, Mark Tilley. We're on our final lap as Dante Oliveira continues to lead his brother by 10 seconds, leads SLR's Tyler Lind by about a minute, and also leading Factory Beta's Dare DeMartille by 2 and change. Probably not the weekend Dare was looking for, but still a nice, consistent placement for him that'll keep him hot and heavy in this mix. And when we get into some of these warmer races, some of these wide open races, I think Dare DeMartille and his Beta 480 RR will be right there in prime position. But the Rubik's Cube, the problem to solve is this man right here. How do you stop Dante Oliveira?
Well, and nobody's solved it. Nobody has solved it for a really long time. Like I said, his brother has come close, but not closing the deal. And it's only a matter of time, though. I think that Mateo just needs to get in some good laps early and maybe make some time on it. Dante, racecraft, always out front from the beginning and able to kind of manage from the front. So again, a testament to their program and the good people at KTM that they have behind them. It's kind of cool to see with team manager Timmy Wiegand and always floating around giving his advice and what they can do. And like I said, the race teams all talk. They're all kind of in the same area. So it's not just one race team that's being able to go out and win races. There's a lot of people behind the scenes. There's the WP suspension guys and all of the people that help set up that chassis, and then all the sponsors. I know IMS a big sponsor of that team, and Alpine Star with the gear. It takes a village, that's for sure.
And how about this 24-year-old out of Hollister, California, trying to hunt down an unprecedented 30 Open Pro win here, a 30th NGPC Open Pro win. We'll see if he can do it. He is just moments away. This really speaks to the point that I drive home about how oftentimes we can go over 90 minutes. The white flag flew just about as we hit that 90-minute mark, so they're going to have to do a whole nother lap. Dante about halfway around, but as long as he doesn't make a mistake, the factory Red Bull KTM rider will look for his 44th podium out here in the NGPC series. What dominance, what a legacy he's leaving, what a mark he's leaving, and doesn't show any signs of slowing down at the young age of 24.
Yeah, and definitely stick around, because I believe we're going to have these guys on the podium as soon as we can get them. As soon as they get off the track, we're going to have them on the podium. We're going to see what they had to say about their race. So don't go anywhere when you see that checkered flag fly. We're going to talk to these guys right after they get off the track.
Yeah, we appreciate everybody watching today. Jack Rapella, Mark Tilley here with you. Mark, it's been a lot of fun. Hotter than we expected. As you can see, we got a sweat working up in here. It's this is an area where you got to believe that conditioning and hydration really comes into play.
Yeah, you saw in the drone coverage, and you saw that it's rough. It's definitely rough, and believe me, that does it no justice. This place is rough and demanding, and you throw in some heat, and this morning it was cold, so we had the kind of the gamut of what the conditions can be. But these guys, it looks like Dante's about a half a lap from taking that checkered flag, and look at that. You could see the difference in elevation when they're over the top and they're doing those awesome drone footage that we have. But right there, you could see that's a sheer cliff. So that's the elevation changes between where we're talking about up top and down below. So it's and then look at the suspension, like you were saying, going through those bumps. That's why there's so many suspension companies out here, because they all got to be able to make it work. And sometimes it takes an army to make a bike work great.
The factory Red Bull KTM Dominator. He looks like he drank his Red Bull, because he does have wings. I mean, is it just me, or does it look like Dante could go another 90 minutes without a problem? on this race course. Such a great job, and all the suspension testing that Bobby Dawson and the entire team was doing up in Hollister, California, appears to have paid off very, very well. Dante Oliveira looking for win number 30 in the 450 category, podium number 4 for the 5-time defending champion, the 2-time Works champion, the ISDE gold medalist, and West Hare Scramble Pro champion. Got to believe that 6 days is one more thing that Dante would like to cross off of his checklist this year. I know didn't have the performance he was looking for last year, but I'm sure they'll be primed and ready to go once again in Spain when we get the 6 days this year.
Yeah, no, he said that, I think, in the interview at the first round, like, yeah, I want to go back and redeem myself. And I mean, he had a better finish than most people ever do there. So it looks like Dante just passed our Open A class rider. It looks like he's lapping the Open A class rider right now, Lane Lorenzo, and Lane is out front of his class. So, and it's not like Lane is slow.
Oh no! Did you see that? Oh my gosh, great footage there. Mark, I gotta believe what happened is Lane probably said, let me take this opportunity and see if I can run with Dante. He's probably tired, he's probably fatigued. Maybe it went off course. He almost lost it right there and went down, almost high-sided the motorcycle.
I didn't see it. I was looking down at my sheet. I didn't see that, but I'm going to go back and watch the live afterwards and see.
Play that one back, because I was just getting ready to build the storyline. Is this the great opportunity for Lane to just kind of see if he's got what it takes to run with Dante's pace? And I bet that's exactly what he did. And he might have to make an underwear change after that one. That scared me. That looked like high side all the way.
Well, and it looks like he's on the footage that we're seeing right now. It looks like Dante's not just blowing by him and taking off. So these guys are 90 minutes in. Like that's impressive to where you can, okay, hey, let me see if I can stay with the big dog and see what we got going on. But man, that's definitely impressive. I can't wait to watch that footage that we have. I'm sure that's the drone footage that we had from sponsored by C Concepts. But man, this drone footage and this whole crew that brings this to you is amazing. Like the work that goes in behind the scenes to make it happen is nice. I'm blessed to be a part of it, and thank you guys for letting me just jabber on the mic to let me be a part of it. But Aaron Kennard and the Rots Fitz crew, like, do an amazing job.
Yeah, so happy to have you. Great job by a lot of these guys, multi-year TV professionals with Lucas Oil Map TV, now doing their own thing and doing it very, very well. So thank you guys for being here, and all the great sponsors as Dante continues to pull away, inching closer and closer to victory. And, you know, I think if anything, not to knock Lane, because he's done a great job, but we talked about when's Lane going to step up. What another way to drive home just how fast Dante is. Dante goes past Lane and puts some gap sauce on him in a hurry. That's a guy who is looking for a second consecutive win here, but Dante is just that much faster than everybody right now.
Well, and there is a big step from the A class to the Pro class. Like those guys hold it on a little bit longer. They brake harder, all that kind of stuff. And this is great learning from him. Watching the Supercross and Outdoor Nationals thing, Ricky Carmichael always says this is a great learning opportunity for these guys. And it's a great learning opportunity. He's only fallen for a quarter of a lap, maybe, if that, but the stuff that he'll learn in that quarter of a lap is priceless.
Coming up on the Yamaha finish line, say hello to your five-time defending champion, victorious today in Blythe out of factory Red Bull KTM. He did it once again, 2 for 2 on the season. A big congratulations from his girlfriend out there. Going to hand him a microfiber towel, get him off the track. Dante Oliveira taking the win right next to Lane Lorenzo. He shakes his hand. Lane says, wow, man, you've given me something to shoot for. Congratulations to Lane. He wins his class. Congratulations to Mateo Oliveira. Tremendous performance for him as the young brother just continues to get quicker and quicker. We'll see who comes in our podium position here in the 450 class. But again, the day belongs to Dante Oliveira.
Yeah, and you saw Dante and Mateo are off the track, helmets off, talking about how much fun they had, and third place I don't believe has come through yet. But like I said, stick around because we're going to talk to those guys and ask them about how their race went and what they want to do. And there's team manager Timmy Wiegand coming over to congratulate Mateo and talk to him about, hey, I told you had it, and then congratulate the 5-time champ. Say he still got it. So Tyler Lynn did cross in 3rd place. So now we're looking for Mason Simmons because I believe he was 4th. And we might see timing and scoring. I'm not sure if they are doing the overall on adjusted time, but Mason coming in 4th might have a shot at that overall. It's going to be tough to beat these guys when it comes to corrected time, but I mean, look at that. They're just kind of drinking water and hanging out. It's like they were just out for, like you said, a Sunday stroll.
And I can see we've got our AMA district official out here of Big Six keeping a close watch on everything. There is the number 1 and a fist pump. So it is a factory Red Bull KTM sweep. Congratulations, Mason Simmons of Australia gets it done. It has been an orange weekend. Chase Sexton over in Arizona, right here in the California desert. Dante Oliveira, Mateo Oliveira, Mason Simmons stepping up big for that Temecula, California-based KTM squad.
Looks like we have NGPC officials there with Kurt and his daughter. Kurt's kind of barking orders at his daughter, telling her what to do. Sometimes she doesn't listen very well. So, yeah, Hannah sometimes has a mind of her own, and I got to tell her every time I come around through the scoring chute to make sure that she scores me, because sometimes she's preoccupied with doing other things. So, but it's great to have the Hintz family out here. And putting in work just like the Hunter family. They're doing lots of stuff behind the scenes, and they run sign up, and they kind of do all the scoring and everything like that. So big thanks to them, the Garvin family. This is a family affair. It's one of those things to where we can't thank them enough. But like we said, stay tuned. Just in minutes, we're going to have these guys on the podium, so we'll be right back.
I'm Jeremy McGrath, and I trust Maxxis tires. It's the only way I roll.
Since 2009, Seat Concepts has been dedicated to making the best aftermarket seats. More comfort, more grip, more riding. For 10 years, we've continued to raise the bar. Innovation and American craftsmanship make Seat Concepts the world-leading manufacturer of power sports seats.
Part 2 of the Rocky Mountain ATV MC NGPC series, presented by FMS, hosted by the Prospectors MC. It was rough, it was tumble, it was grueling, it was hot, it was everything we expected it to be. And when the dust settled, Dante Oliveira of Team Factory Red Bull KTM did it once again. 2 for 2 on this young season. His KTM teammate, Mateo Oliveira, closely following him as we take a look at officially unofficial results here in the Open Pro category. Dante Oliveira, Mateo Oliveira, Tyler Lynn, Dare DiMartil comes home in the number 4 spot. Giacomo Redondi, number 5. Ryan Surratt in 6. Justin Hepp, welcome back to him. He has a great performance in the number 7 spot. Jake Alvarez, 8. Damon Woolslayer, 9. And Timothy Barnum rounding out your top 10 today here in the hotly contested Open Pro category. But again, the story is, who can stop Dante Oliveira? He's showing why he is the 5-time defending champion of this category, bringing it home with his 30th 450 NGPC win, 44th podium. I think he's used to this by now as he talks shop with his brother Mateo out there. They treated us to a great battle today. Mateo actually led a few laps, so big shout out to him. Big congratulations to him as he gets closer and closer to his brother, just 2 years older. In mere moments, we're going to hear from our top 3 podium finishers as the great Mike Bertowski gives him the thumbs up, gets the shot. I think we are ready to go, so in just a few seconds, we're going to kick it down to Mr. Mark Tilley. You know, Mike Bertowski's got to get that perfect shot. We'll wait till he's all ready to go. I've worked with him plenty, and he brings high quality. He points to Mark Tilley. Mark, let's send it down to you and speak to our podium finishers.
All right, Jack. We're down here on the podium, and I'm standing here next to 3rd place overall finisher Tyler Lynn on the SLR Honda. Now, the boys next to me kind of got out on you early. Kind of tell me how it looked from your perspective.
Yeah, those guys was definitely pinning it that first half. Man, got a good start, and then just got a little pumped up there after a couple laps. Lost the pace, and then just couldn't find the flow till I pitted, and I picked it up a little bit, and then those guys picked it up. You know, I was trying everything I could, but they was on it.
Yeah, they definitely were on it. So you're on the SLR Honda team. This is multiple years on the team now, and kind of getting stuff figured out. What's it going to take to run with these guys?
Man, just got to work harder. I know those guys are working hard, and I just gotta be better. So I'm gonna go back to home, go back to the drawing boards, and come back to the next round a little faster, a little better.
Well, so who helps you get here? Tell me who you'd like to thank. Maybe a little bit special thanks out to those people that don't get mentioned all the time.
Yeah, obviously, first thing I'd like to thank is Mark Samuels. He took me in a year and a half ago and pretty much changed my life, changed my racing program. I'm I can say a 10 times better racer now than I was a year and a half ago, so I got to thank him, my family for supporting me and putting me into the sport. The mechanics, they work day in, day out, having our bikes the best it can be. Obviously, Honda and just everyone else behind the SLR team. You know, it takes a whole village, and, you know, I'm stoked to get it on the box for him.
All right, so there you have it. That's what Tyler Lynn has to say. We're going to walk around over here to 2nd place overall. Mateo, the only man, I think, that has been able to kind of push his brother kind of to the side. So I know at the first round you said you were happy to be on the podium, but you wanted more. Tell us about your race.
Yeah, good start again. Both our bikes have been firing super fast this year, so that's cool. And then, I was just trailing my brother. I was pretty comfortable trailing him for a while. We had a good pace going, and then I saw an opening. I don't know when that was, 3rd lap down the pro section. I think we had a couple riders in there, and I got close, and I kind of just sent it and got around him, and then I tightened up for a little bit. I was like, I haven't been here in a while. But, man, that just felt awesome. I think I led like 3 to 4 laps, and just I hung in there strong. Bike was awesome, and I had a good time.
So now that pro section that you just mentioned, you guys had drastically different lines. You were going on one side, your brother was going on the other. What made you choose that way through there? Because you didn't get to ride it. You only get to walk that section. So walk us through your line selection.
Yeah, I try to walk down there and just put all the possibilities that can happen, you know, put myself in position, say I'm behind someone, there's lappers. And I just try to visualize every single possibility, even if the line's slower, what I can do. And sure enough, that's what happened. I think we came down to some lappers. I was super close on Dante, and then it was just split second to pick left or right, and I sent it. I picked the right line, and we were pretty close. It was like thread and needle to get around him on that. But it was cool, and I'm just stoked to be in the battle and to battle my brother. I've been wanting to do this, honestly, since we were on big bikes, since we've been racing against each other, so it's pretty damn cool.
Well, now, you guys kind of got out on everybody early, and it's a testament to your guys' training program and how much you're working in the off-season and doing that kind of stuff. Who would you like to thank to get you here?
My trainer, Jared Becker, and Timmy. You know, after we finished last year, there was a lot of times they're like, dude, you're good. You just need to figure it out and trust yourself. And we didn't reinvent the wheel. We just kept doing what we were doing, added on some more, and just had to dig deeper and find it in myself to want this. You know, it's pretty special. I get to race dirt bikes, and maybe forgot that for a while because I got put straight onto this factory team, and I had everything I ever wanted. You know, but I had to find it again, and I love this, so I just want to put it all into it.
All right, well, there you have it. Mateo, the only guy that has been able to kind of take the reins away from his brother, thanking Timmy Wiegand over there. And I know I got to ride on the same track as Timmy Wiegand back in the day, but definitely not on the same level as Timmy. So it's great to see Timmy helping other riders and helping his riders underneath him to achieve their goals. And now we're coming over to the man, the myth, the legend, the 5-time champion. You had your brother nipping at your heels and then got in front of you a little bit today, but you pulled it all out. We saw your pitch strategy. You were a little bit more intense getting to that turn, so kind of a little bit of racecraft. So take us through your race.
Yeah, I got off to a great start and then just put the hammer down. I was riding smooth, had a good flow, but Mateo was right there behind me, and he ended up sneaking by me in that pro section, and he kept hammering down, and it caught me by surprise a little bit. He wore me out today, but it was a great race. It was fun, but the boy had my number today for sure. I just hung strong and did what I could. I got a little gap on him after the pits. I think he went down, but I came around here. Robert's giving me the slow, like I got a big gap. I thought I wore him out, but he kept on chipping away, and he got real close. So kind of just a little yo-yo effect later in the laps, but he rode strong, and hats off to him.
Well, and you were the one that was saying I believe at the last round, saying that he's not that far off. Like in training, if he could just put what he does in practice into the race, you'd have to worry about it. And he might be a little bit closer than what you think now.
Yeah, he's got the confidence for sure. He had my numbers, so we'll see what happens at the next round. But I'm going to go work hard and see if I can keep him behind me.
All right. Well, is there anybody else you'd like to thank?
Whole FMF Red Bull KTM team, my mechanic. We had a quick pit capitalizing on these guys. My lady, my parents, and everybody behind us, MotorX, FMF Renthal, Hinson, Alpine Star, Ashok knee braces, IMS tanks, Precision Stabilizers, the Grand Prix crew, and everybody else.
All right, Jack, well, there you have it. That's the Open Pro class podium. We'll be back with the Pro 2 class podium.
Thank you very much, Mark Tilley. Big congratulations to all of our podium finishers, and congratulations once again to the five-time defending champion, Dante Oliveira, Factory Red Bull KTM, getting it done in a big, big way here in Blythe as we turn our attention to round number 3. But before we turn our attention to that, we got to turn our attention to the results of the Pro 2 category. First, let's take another look at the Open Pro results. Dante Oliveira, Mateo Oliveira, Tyler Lynn, Dare DeMartille, another great, strong run on the Factory Beta. Giacomo Redondi and the new Pro Circuit team bringing home a top 5. Ryan Surratt toughing out a knee injury, too. We got to get that knee feeling better. Let's get some ice packs on Ryan's knee, and it'll be just a matter of time before he climbs back up there. Justin Heft, welcome back to the series for him. Now we take a look at our Pro 2 results, and your winner out of Australia on a KTM, getting it done, Mason Simmons, followed closely by Sam Pretchar and Cole Zeller. Kai Aiello, the Supercross star, in 4th. Dustin Davis up to 4th. Noah Gordon, Leighton Small, Jace Allred, Tristan Alvarez, Jackson Galather rounding out your top 10. We're going to have to see if maybe Mark knows, maybe one of the competitors knows. We'll have to see if anybody knows what happened to Colton Eck, who came in with the points lead. Colton was toughing out an injury sustained, and we give him a big pat in the back just for being here. We'll take a look at the rest of the field. Cody Simpson in 11th, Jordan Mass, Ryder Tomaselli, Jason Harris, Zachary Curling. Colton Eck on our score sheet says that he came home 16th, so we'll see what implication that has on the point series. Cody Lee, who we talked to testing out the Yamaha. He brings home a top 20 performance as well from a very grueling, demanding, and challenging round of racing here in Blythe, California. Take a look at that beautiful desert. Best thing is we're just getting started in this young series, only 2 rounds down. So many storylines, so much intrigue, so much to get through as we continue to wind our way through what should be a very, very competitive, hotly contested points chase before we take our summer break and then wrap it up with 3 big rounds at the end of the year and see who will be carrying those number 1 plates here when the 2025 season concludes. I think we are ready down on the podium. I do believe Mark Tilley has our 250 Pro 2 podium finishers. Yes, he does. Take it away, Mark.
All right, Jack, we're back down here on the podium with the Pro 2 class now. So 3rd place, Cole Zeller. Bike looks a little mangled. I know you're running in 2nd for a long time. So tell us what happened.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe a little bit after the halfway, I could feel something coming apart in the rear end, and I was thinking it was, I don't know, pivot bolt or something. And then it got really bad. Then my exhaust came out, and then I'm riding a chopper out there. And then, yeah, on that last lap, I was in 2nd, and I think I seated into something too much. It got sucked up in the rear wheel, and I went OTB, and then Sam got me. But yeah, I mean, I did everything I could. I'm happy with my speed and my riding right now. Still got a bit to get to Mason, but yeah, I'm overall happy with the day.
So now, coming through from last year to this year, what did you do different to train for this year? Because it seems like now you're getting up here, you're running up front a lot more for a lot longer. Tell us about did you change anything, or what do you got going on?
I mean, we stiffened up the suspension a little bit. Bob at Precision Concepts did a great job on the setup. And I just got to believe I'm up here. I have the speed every single weekend to be at least on the box, and I just got to believe it. So this year, I believe it, and you should see me a lot more up here.
So, well, we definitely feel like you believe it because you are up here, you are up to the front a lot more. Is there anybody you'd like to help? Is there anybody you'd like to thank to help you get here?
Yeah, my Lord and Savior Jesus Christ. That last crash could have been season-ending. It was really bad. So I'm grateful to be healthy. And Husqvarna has helped me out a lot this year. I'm a support rider with them. Precision Concepts, Bob has been amazing. Gainslinger Human Performance, they've been with me for 5 years, and they're still with me as far as off-the-bike stuff goes. Robbie Bell is my new on-bike trainer, so that's a bit of a change. My beautiful girlfriend over here has been my rock and keeping me going. My dad is on the wrenches every single weekend for the last as long as I've been doing this. So, and then my whole family, my grandparents and everyone came out today. So I'm just so thankful to be here. And yeah, IMS, Pro Taper, Cherby's, Pro Circuit, Rhino Power, and yeah, everyone else I forgot. Oh, Lake Elsinore Casino. He has really stepped it up this year. So yeah, thank you everyone so much.
Well, like we said, it takes a village to make this happen, and Cole, just thanking the entire family. Again, a NGPC, a family event. We're going to walk over here to National Hare and Hound champion, just kind of highlighting or moonlighting in the NGPC series. Now, we know that you have Pit Boss Bob on your side in the pit, dumping your gas and everything like that. But Sam on the podium, making a last lap pass. Unfortunate for Cole, but take us through your race.
Yeah, the start, but I need a grower set because it's pretty ridiculous. So apart from that, I just basically just started off behind and just started pushing as hard as I could and just didn't stop until the flag was out. So yeah, just a massive thanks to Bob. He's made it so easy with just the pit and everything. He helps me out heaps. So yeah, and everyone else, you know, Ed from Three Bros, Hatch Racing, Husqvarna, Golden Tire, Blood Racing Oils, X-Brand, AME Grips, Precision Concepts, and yeah, I'm sure Mum and Dad are watching at home too, which is cool. So yeah, I'd like to thank everyone involved, and yeah.
So now this man behind me, Mason, he's your buddy. What's it going to take to beat him besides maybe getting a start? Do you think you got something for him?
Not at the moment. Probably about 2.5 minutes later, maybe. We'll see. Just keep chipping away, I guess. That's all I can do.
All right. Well, is there anybody else you'd like to thank?
I'm pretty scattered right now, so.
Well, there you have it. Sam, a little bit scattered right now, probably a little bit tired, a little bit in shock that he was able to make that last-minute pass on Cole. But the man of the hour that we have right here, again, on the podium, this time on the top step of the podium. Take us through your race.
Yeah, it was a good race. I got the whole shot, which was on my things to do, and luckily I got that. And, just rode my own race, put my head down and charged forward the whole race, and, ended up with a win, so I can't complain. And, I was really happy with how I rode. And, the bike, Bob nailed the suspension for this race. And, overall, it was just a solid day.
So now, are you doing anything different? Are you making changes to your program? Or are you just kind of going with the same stuff that you always been doing? Same trainer, same fitness program?
Yeah, same old stuff. Me and Robbie Bell, me and Sam both with Robbie, and off and on the bike. So we've just been nailing that in, and different races. We just changed suspension a little bit, but I knew coming into this weekend I had to go a little stiffer, just purely because I'd experienced at this track last weekend and I was too soft. So but other than that, no, we just keep it fun and enjoy racing our dirt bike.
All right. Well, is there anybody else you'd like to thank for getting you here?
Yeah, the whole RPM KTM racing team, Mike, Cameron, Timmy, all the sponsors associated with the team, personal sponsors, Trail Jesters, Rhino Power, Power of the Mind Coach, Robbie Bell, Bob Bell, and just everyone that supports me. And without them, it wouldn't be possible.
All right, well, there you have it, Jack. It sounds like Robbie Bell and Bob Bell kind of making these guys function. And just an FYI, these guys are all on Scoop tires. Back to you.
The Scoop tire coming through, and big shout out to Precision Concepts, Bob Bell, and all of our suspension experts out here. Yes, Mark, I do believe they played a big factor in today's success. Congratulations, Mason Simmons, and take a look at this, guys. We're still racing out here. That's why we told you, look up NGPC, download the app, come race. I don't care where you live. Get in the truck and log some miles, and if you're out on the East Coast and you're cold, this is a good way to warm up. The women certainly warmed up. What a great race it was between your defending champion, Moto KK, out of SLR Honda, coming in just in front of Ava Silvestri, who put in a great performance. Ava just gets quicker and quicker, week in, week out, looking for a breakout performance on that gas. Such a great job by her. And Ty Wolfslayer joining us here this weekend. Our top 3 women doing a fantastic job from Blythe, California. We're going to talk to them in mere moments. What a weekend it was in the hot, unforgiving desert in this young season. I hope you guys have absolutely loved it, and all the coverage that we provide here on the NGPC YouTube channel. A great show, a great broadcast by our TV production team. We really do appreciate it, and all the people that make it happen as we look ahead to round number 3 coming up at legendary Glen Helen Raceway, perhaps the most famous motocross track in the world. We'll turn it into a NGPC endurance type track. Now, a lot of people know that at Glen Helen they alter it greatly to make it a 10-minute or so lap. It's not just the moto course there. There's a lot of real estate in San Bernardino, California that they have to play with. That'll be our next stop on tour for the NGPC circuit. Hope to see each and every one of you there. Look at how peaceful that course looks now. What a difference it was. And ladies and gentlemen, I do believe at this time, Mark Tilley has our very talented women podium finishers standing by. Let's send it down to the one and only Mark Tilley.
All right, I guess we're back. We're down here with the women's pro podium, and we have maybe not a newcomer to the series, but maybe a newcomer to the podium, Ty Wolfslayer. Take us through your race.
It was long and hot.
She's not giving me very much to work with here, but so I saw that you got out to maybe a third place start after these girls got off. Was there anything that surprised you about this course?
No, I raced twice yesterday, so I knew it was just going to be really rough and choppy.
All right. So who helps you get here? Who does suspension? Who helps you guys get here?
Precision Concepts does my suspension. And then my parents, Shane and Stephanie Wolfslayer, and my brother, Damon Wolfslayer. and Reflex Racing, Fast Company, Cherubies, Economy Floors, and everybody else that stands behind me.
All right, well, Ty is definitely somebody that you got to stop from talking a lot, but I can understand standing on the podium, it's a little bit daunting and kind of nerves probably playing a little bit, and she's been riding for 90 minutes, so we can't really hold that against her. It sounds like another Precision Concepts bike, and so now we're going to walk over here to Ava Silvestri. Ava, I saw you got out to a good start. And it looked like you were going to kind of put the coals to Michaela, but little change. You stayed close. You definitely stayed closer than you have in the past. Take us through your race.
Yeah, I mean, got the jump again, another race in a row, but just need to hang on to it. Actually like go through with getting the whole shot. But yeah, just honestly at this point, my mindset this year is just trying to stay as close as possible. I know she sprints pretty hard on the first lap, so. Just got to stay as close as possible, see her braking points, go a little farther, see her acceleration points, just try to hold it on a little longer everywhere. But, yeah, I kind of just pushed pretty hard the first, 3 laps. And then around lap 4 and 5, I was honestly getting pretty wild out there and had to just bring it back a little bit and lost a bit of time there. And that's kind of, in my opinion, where I lost the race. I gave up a little too much time, and then I think I pit around the next lap and then just kept trying to keep clicking off laps. It was definitely getting a lot rougher out there for sure. My hands were kind of giving out on me, but kind of got a second wind, and then I think she made a mistake or something because I closed in pretty close to her at the last 2 laps and kind of just honestly just said, here we go, balls to the wall for the last 2 laps, and just sprinted and basically left everything I had out there. I mean, I think I probably, looking at it now, I probably could have pushed a little harder on that last lap, but I know we both want to win just as bad, so obviously she's not going to bow down and give it to me. So, yeah, just those are key points, focus on the negatives, but definitely don't, keep them in the rear view for sure. But, yeah, we're happy with it. This is the best I've done probably since Glen Helen last year. So, yeah, we're stoked and just trying to keep this momentum into the next round.
Well, now, and you're racing some other series and doing very well in those series. Is there anything that you've changed up to kind of go for? Is it an intensity level or anything like that?
I mean, for sure, this series, the pace that we're going is pretty dang fast. It's definitely not anything I'm doing in any of the other series, but at least for this series, like I said, I'm just trying to latch onto her at the beginning and just follow her pace as fast as much as I human possibly can. But for the other series, it's more just a learning curve. Hare and Hounds I raced them before, but it's pretty new for me this year again. Kind of have to learn everything all over, but I don't know. I'd like to say I'm a quick learner, so yeah. Hopefully, as long as I'm on the podium as much as possible, I can hopefully come out at the end of the year on top.
All right. Well, who helps you get here?
Of course, my whole family. My sister this weekend. My parents weren't able to make it, so shout out to her. Big help. Gas, Troy Lee Designs, FMF, 395 Motorsports, Racer Decal, Fast Company, Dirt Tricks, Dunlop, Motion Pro, and just everybody else. Thank you.
All right, well, there you have it. Ava making progress, feeling pretty good about her progress, and it's not going to be very long until she's up next to this young lady. Michaela Nilsson, SLR Honda, on the top step of the podium again. Take us through your race.
Honestly, got off to kind of a slow start, and then about the 30 minutes in, kind of picked it up and then found my groove and just started pushing, and then second to last lap kind of made a big mistake and hit the ground and honestly probably rung my bell a little bit, so just kind of in survival mode. Those last 2 bars were all mangled, and I honestly couldn't really see straight, so just probably need to take some recovery after that, but yeah, I'm just happy to push through and still be on top.
All right, well, we'll get this interview over real quick because you're swaying a little bit, but who'd you like to thank for getting you here?
I'd like to thank my parents, my mom, my dad, and my family all back at home. My boyfriend Parker Ross for coming back out after Supercross, and yeah, the whole SLR Honda crew, Fly Racing, Alpine Stars, and just everyone on this bike. We wouldn't be here without all of them, so thank you.
All right, well, there you have it, Jack. That's what the women pro class has to say about their race. Now back to you.
Thanks so much, Mark, and congratulations to our talented ladies down there. Great job as they smile for a photo, and I hope we get to see Ty Woolslayer out here some more as well. I'd like to see her run the whole series, and Ava did a great job. She continues to step up big time in Moto KK, getting it done once again. What a day it was. What a round number 2 it was. Big thanks to Honda, and all of the great live stream sponsors. We had a blast. We now turn our attention to round number 3, where I will be there with Mark Tilley. Mark, are you ready for Glen Helen?
I am, and it's nice that it's only 20 minutes from my house or 30 minutes from my house. We do lots of testing there, so I'm definitely ready for it. The great talking to these racers as they come off the course is just invaluable information. It's nice to see. I mean, they're great with their words. Some of them are a little nervous, as we saw there with Ty, but she'll be back on the podium. She's definitely a talent in the women's pro class. But you know, it's great to see all of these people and be able to talk to them right afterwards and see what they have to say.
Well, great job. Barbecue at Mark Tilley's house at Glen Helen. Thank you to all the great sponsors. This was the Rocky Mountain ATV MC NGPC Series presented by Prospectors MC. Big thanks to Ross Fitz Productions, Aaron Kennard Productions, all the wonderful sponsors. My name's Jack Rapella. Check me out on Cycle Drag YouTube and Racing Jack YouTube. Check out Mark Tilley on the Dirt Bike Magazine YouTube channel. And we'll see you at Glen Helen Raceway. Thanks so much for watching, everybody.